Where is your dagger?
This is your daily deep dive into the teams we love and the games we watch.
Touchdown, Wisconsin! And there it is! The Brewers will punch a ticket to the postseason.
Now here's Doug Russell.
I left 40.1 points on the bench last night.
Isn't it beautiful?
Against Dave in the playoffs.
It was wonderful.
Yeah,
that was one guy.
Whoa, I can't talk today. Oh my God.
So
he
excited.
is sick for you.
You're so excited that I left
You left
Kyle
me speechless.
Pitts on the damn bench. They say nobody wants to hear about your fantasy team. I don't believe you.
Yeah. I love hearing about it, Doug, because of your misfortune.
So,
I had Bijan Robinson in my lineup, and he did pretty good.
It is what it is.
Good game.
It is what it is.
So let's take the fantasy aspect out of it and let's talk about it from a football fandom.
Yeah.
That performance last night was historically good for Kyle Pitts.
Yeah,
this is a guy that
I've been waiting for it all year long.
They've been waiting for it. They've been waiting for it since he was drafted 4th overall. I mean, that fan base has been historic performance. First time since Shannon Sharp in 2002 that someone had 150 yards and 3 touchdowns at the tight end position like he did last night. And it accounted from a fantasy perspective for 7% of his entire career's fantasy production.
Sure did. Ooh. You don't have to tell me that.
Yeah. And
brutal.
It seems like he finally remembered that he's like bigger and stronger than like everyone else on the field.
Well, they remembered. I mean, the team doesn't do enough to put him in a position to put the ball in his hands. And Kirko Chains, man, since he's gotten in there at quarterback, Pitts has become a real star.
Yeah, he's been better.
Well, if you're fortunate enough to make it to next week, Doug, I mean, you can.
I will be starting Kyle.
Lineup.
Yes, I will be. If I'm fortunate enough to make it to next week.
And that's the week he puts up 2.5 points.
Well, I've seen a lot of that this year too.
Yep.
A lot of that this year. But nevertheless, we soldier on. We got a busy show for you. Paul Brettel from ESPN Lacrosse, the Wisconsin State Journal, and NBC 26. He's going to join us from Green Bay coming up in just a few minutes. We'll also hear we'll play over-under, of course, with Matt LaFleur. Matt LePay will join us in the 11 o'clock hour. Brian Posick, the voice of the Badgers hockey team, he will join us coming up a little bit later on in this hour. Of course, our Wishful Giving Radio Event presented by Kessler's Diamonds continues. You can unwrap the power of a wish. Donate right now at radiowishes.com or by calling 877-272-WISH. We'll hear some great stories with some Make-A-Wish families. We'll hear from Carrie. We'll hear from Logan and Melissa. We'll hear from Julie and Seth. We'll hear from Talia and Heidi. So all of that's coming up as well. We've got Bruiser's Bites in the 1 o'clock hour. We'll have an Eye on the Enemy with Guerrilla Sports host Brandon Cristal, who has been covering the Denver Broncos for many years now as the Packers get set to take on the 11-2 Bronx on Sunday on the Packers Radio Network with Wayne Larrivee and Larry McCarron on the call. You heard from Josh Jacobs in the show open. And Nick, this could be, and I hate using hyperbole, but this could be a Super Bowl preview. And also, by the way, this is the second week in a row that the Packers will have taken on the top team in their respective conference, record-wise.
Yeah, and I know that the Broncos are not a slouch, but if this is ultimately a Super Bowl preview, this is essentially projecting the Packers make the Super Bowl. This is one of them I'd want.
And the Broncos.
But this is the team, one of the teams in the AFC field that I'd want because I don't believe in what they have offensively in Denver. I would be fearful to see Josh Allen in the postseason in the Super Bowl in particular. That would mean that the Bills got hot. They won a couple of road playoff games as it stands now. Maybe they could still win the AFC or at least their division. But it would mean that you see a Josh Allen-led team who I think you would definitely have the quarterback disadvantage against instead. So I would look at the Broncos as a team I'd prefer to see. They have won games this year by the skin of their teeth over and over and over and over again. But if this is a Super Bowl preview, it's a good thing to get a look at them this weekend on the road, an opportunity to prove that some of those early season wins over teams that were at least considered contenders are significant. Because as it stands now, what is the Packers' most significant victory? Week 1 or week 13 or last week?
I think that they've had some pretty significant ones. Now, after 2 weeks, you thought that it was going to be the Commanders because they were at the NFC Championship game a year ago, but obviously Washington's had a terrible season. Jane Daniels being injured hasn't helped. But maybe the Thanksgiving Day game against the Lions because that was on the road. Maybe last week against the Bears because they were the top team in the NFC at the time. How about we ask our friend Paul Brettel from ESPN Lacrosse, the Wisconsin State Journal, and NBC 26. We're kind of kicking this around right now, Paul, as we lead off the show. In your opinion, what's been the best Packers victory so far this season?
I think, honestly, it's got to be one of the last two against either Detroit or Chicago. And the reason I say that is because those games had very playoff-like feels, at least to me, right? NFC North arrival, a lot on the line in those games, right, in terms of standings, where you stand within the division and also within the conference. Games that came down to the wire, to the end of games, plays on both sides of the ball that the Packers offense and defense had to make, and they were able to come through. So to me, one of these last two games, I think, is the biggest. And if we wanted to split hairs, I'd maybe lean towards the Detroit game just because on the road, Thanksgiving, that atmosphere. But these last 2 weeks, playoff-like football for the Packers, and those are games last year in the regular season that they weren't able to win. So as we look at growth of this team, right, where have they improved last year to this year? I think being able to come through in those high leverage moments in key games is one of those areas.
Paul, you look at the quarterback position, and it feels like this time of year, few quarterbacks play better than Jordan Love. Whether you believe in the Toyota-thon stuff or not, he finds a way this time of year to be playing his best. Why do you think that is?
That's a great question. And he certainly is. I mean, he is absolutely rolling right now. You know, I'm sure part of it, right, is just the continuity component of it, right? I know Aaron Rodgers used to talk about this all the time. Even if there's a lot of, the roster from one year to the next, even if there's not a lot of turnover, you have a lot of the same guys. Every single year, you have a new team. You have to learn to win together, to play together. And so I think, I guess part of that equation for Love is just, right, the reps, the in-game moments, having those snaps in high leverage situations and coming through, learning from things that don't go exactly how you want. And this year specifically, I think we can look at the receiver position as well, getting healthy, right? Getting Watson back. Reed came back last week. The offensive line play over the last month of the season has been much improved as well. So I think around Jordan Love this year in particular, right, there's other position groups that we can point to where they're getting healthier. The play up front is getting stronger, and obviously that's going to benefit Jordan Love. But I think just as the season's gone on, he is just playing at a really high level. For the State Journal earlier this week, I wrote about just kind of what he's done over the last month, and there were two facets to that article that I highlighted. One is his accuracy. His deep ball accuracy this year has been excellent. And then also something that Adam Stenavich highlighted was just the decision-making, right? When those downfield opportunities might not be available, taking what's available, right? Being okay with taking the check down and just turning it into a positive play. The other aspect of it is his decision-making pre-snap. There have been a lot of plays this season where Jordan Love has, canned the original play to another based on what the defense is showing him. And the two touchdown passes this past Sunday to Christian Watson were examples of that, where he canned the original play because he didn't like what the defense was showing, went to the second play that they called in the huddle, and he threw two touchdown passes off of that. So I think the pre-snap decision-making, the overall accuracy that he's playing with, and again, the play around him is all help elevating this offense right now.
Yeah, and they might have to do it without Josh Jacobs. He didn't practice yesterday, calls himself day-to-day, but Paul, what's your sense of what the running game could be looking like when we get to on Sunday? Even if Josh Jacobs is in there, would he be limited? How do you think this might shake out?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, first off, Jacobs is never someone that you want to fully count out of, right, in terms of whether he's going to be available or not. I mean, he is the ultimate competitor. To get to the fact that he's not on the practice field this week, he's someone who wants to be out there for every single practice rep as well. So his status does, however, seem to be very much up in the air. And if he can go, this week, obviously the snap count perhaps could be a part of the situation, but I just get the sense that if Jacobs is out there, like, he's going to be a factor, right? He's going to be a normal part of the equation. But if he can't go, obviously they're going to have to turn, as they did a couple weeks ago, to Emmanuel Wilson, Chris Brooks in that run game. And I know we focus a lot on this Denver front and their ability to get after the quarterback, right? They're first in the NFL in sacks, but this is a really, really good run defense unit as well, allowing 3.7 yards per rush, fewest in the NFL this season. So regardless of who's at running back for the Packers, like this offensive line unit, that rushing offense, they are going to have their hands full this week in trying to generate some sort of positive semblance of a running game that they can lean on, because a potentially, bad scenario for the offense, right, is if you don't have that run game to lean on, now you're behind the sticks, and this already really disruptive pass rush is now able to pin its ears back to get after the quarterback in those second long, third and long situations. So finding some way to generate some success on the run game, I think, is going to be one of the important keys to this game.
Paul Brettel from ESPN Lacrosse, the Wisconsin State Journal, and NBC 26 joining us here on D.N.D. as we get set for the Packers taking on the Denver Broncos. I want to go through the Week 14 target lists of Jordan Love. Christian Watson, 4. Jaden Reed, 4. Luke Musgrave, 4. Then you've got John Fitzpatrick with 2. Josh Jacobs with 2 out of the backfield. Bo Melton with 2, including the 45-yard touchdown. And Wiley Brooks, Dobbs, Golden, each with 1. At the top, though, you've got Watson with 4 and Reed with 4. As it pertains to Christian Watson, as he kind of emerges as perhaps your WR1, I think he's there. Do you think, in your opinion, he needs to get more targets to maybe boost up what his production could possibly be?
I think so. I think finding ways to get Christian Watson in football is never going to be a bad thing for your offense, right? I mean, his level of play since coming off of this injury has been remarkable. It's like the injury never happened, honestly. Like, he has not missed a beat. That first game back against Pittsburgh, and get over 80 receiving yards in that game, has 2 multiple touchdown games, several games over the 80-yard mark. I mean, he has been his performance has been such an incredible performance since returning, and finding ways to get him the ball, obviously going to benefit your offense, right? And Matt LaFleur talks about the versatility he brings, playing the different receiver positions. He can impact each level of the field. And so finding those ways to get him involved are always going to be a good thing for the Packers offense. But part of that equation as well, right? Like, this coaching staff goes into games each week with plays drawn up, specific situations. All right, here's how we want to get Christian involved, Reed, so on and so on. But in part, getting those opportunities, right, is dependent on how's the defense defending you. Because one of the things that I think Jordan Love does a really, really good job of is spreading the ball around, right? There might be a play drawn up for Christian Watson, but if the coverage dictates that the ball needs to go to Dontavian Wicks, that is where Jordan Love is going to go with the ball. So to a degree, yes, there has to be obviously an emphasis. All right, how do we get Christian Watson the ball as much as possible? But there's always going to be as well those variables in play where, even if on a certain play, drive, whatever it may be, the Packers have the best intentions of, all right, like, here's how we're going to get 9 the football. What the defense does may change where the ball goes on a specific play.
Well, when you look at the other side, you got Bo Nix, a second-year quarterback at the helm for Denver. And although statistically he doesn't pop off, the dude's just been winning. I mean, he wins since he's taken over that job. And there's something to be said about always finding a way to put yourself in a position to win. Where do you stand on Bo Nix and how the Packers might be able to neutralize him this weekend?
Yeah, the combination of Bo Nix as quarterback and Sean Payton as the head coach has been just a terrific marriage, right? And in terms of just the effectiveness of this Denver offense, and there is absolutely a skill that has to be learned, has to be developed in figuring out how to win close games late. And the Broncos, they've done a really good job of that this season, right? Part of that equation is coming up when the big play when you have to, but also a part of that is not, playing a clean game down the stretch as well, not giving your opponents added opportunities to steal the game away from you. So from the Packers' perspective, they're going to have to play a clean game, no drops. turnovers, limiting those, right? Penalties, because this is a Denver team that is proven that they can absolutely take advantage and capitalize on any little edge that you might give them. And when it comes to defending Knicks, this Broncos offense, I think a lot of it starts with this Green Bay run defense and limiting Denver's ability on the ground. So now Bo Nix, the passing game is, again, like I mentioned earlier, in those second and long, third long situations, because when facing pressure this season, I believe Nix is completing about 44% of his passes. He's averaging just over 4 yards per pass attempt. So you want to give your pass rushers true pass rush opportunities. And if the run game gets going, and that doesn't mean generating tons of explosive plays, but even at a steady 4 or 5 yards a pop, the offense is ahead of the sticks, right? Now they're living in 2nd and 5, 3rd and 2 situations. And even when the quarterback drops back to pass, they now have the luxury of using the quick game, using the screen game. So even though they're passing the ball, those aren't true pass rush opportunities for Micah Parsons and that defensive front because the ball's out so quickly. The Packers have to put that offense in, again, those long down and distance where the quarterback has to drop back, and then Parsons, Gary, everyone else up front has an actual opportunity to get after him and affect the game. But in order to do that, you got to eat your vegetables on early downs. You have to stop the run. And I think one area where the Packers can, because don't get me wrong, this run defense has been quite good this season. They've limited explosive plays. Opponents aren't averaging a lot per carry against them. But I think where they can be better is getting more negative plays, right? Because like I mentioned, even at 3-4 yards a carry, an offense can still put themselves in a 3rd and short if they're committed to the run. But what you need is that 0-yard gain, that 2-yard loss. So now it's 2nd and 12. And at that point, the offense doesn't have much of a choice. You have to pass in those situations.
Paul, what do you make of Rashawn Gary this year? I know there's been some criticism of him, not being able to maybe get the numbers that people were expecting. But what do you make of his performance and how he's done this year now with Micah Parsons on the other side for him?
Yeah, and we asked Jeff Hafley about that yesterday, and I, of course, was going to come to the defense of his player, right? And a few things that he noted about Gary was how strong of a run defender he's been. And Gary did really well against the run last season, but Hafley said he's even improved in that regard. And I know pressure, sacks, right? That's what gets that position group paid. That's what's going to garner the attention. But that is not that we can't forget about that aspect of playing the position either. Now, I would guess that more production from Rashawn Gary, right, is something that you would have expected, especially after the start to the season. What do you have, 4.5 sacks through the first 3, 4, 5 games, especially with Micah Parsons opposite of them, giving him more of those one-on-one opportunities. So I'm not saying that there's not more room for improvement either, but I think looking at this collective Packers pass rush unit, and in part, this is what makes Micah Parsons' production, to me, leap off the page even more, is this group hasn't had a ton of, and I referenced this earlier, true pass rush opportunities. Like I said, opponents, even teams who come in and want to throw the football, they run the ball more against this team because of Micah Parsons, because of that pass rush presence, right? When they do throw, it's a lot of quick, short, intermediate throws where the ball is out of these guys' hands quickly. So I just want to provide some added context to Gary's numbers, and this applies to everyone else as well, that in terms of the number of actual pass rush opportunities, I don't know that they're getting as many as what you see on the stat sheet, right? You might see the quarterback have 25 dropbacks, but how many times was he truly dropping back, going through his reads and progression, surveying the middle, the intermediate and deep parts of the field, and giving those times to get after the quarterback? So is there room for improvement from Gary to be more disruptive? Absolutely. But I think there's also, and this was Hafley's point on Thursday, I think there's also a lot of added nuance and context to these pass rush numbers as well. And the last thing Hafley said about, again, referencing Gary, but I think everyone at that position group, is there are a lot of different ways that position group can affect the game. I mentioned the run game, but also just being able to, win your matchup, force the quarterback to step up in the pocket, and then maybe there's a defensive tackle there to make the sack, right? Like, that's not going to be a sack for Rashawn Gary or Micah Parsons or whoever, but it's a way to, but they certainly had a big impact on the outcome of that play.
He is Paul Brettel from ESPN Lacrosse, the Wisconsin State Journal, and NBC 26, joining us from Green Bay. Paul, we appreciate the time and the insights as always. Do you have an over-under on how long Matt LaFleur is going to go today? Last week, I said it at 4:20, and he went 4 minutes and I think 51 seconds.
Yeah, I think we've been hitting the over the last couple Fridays. So I like your usual range. I think you're usually in the 4:30 range. So I like that mark. That's where I'll stick to.
I was going to say about 4 minutes and 30 seconds. All right, we'll take that under advisement, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it.
All right, appreciate you. There he goes. Paul Brettel does great work. Read his outstanding stuff in the Wisconsin State Journal. Also contributor for ESPN Lacrosse and NBC 26, as well as us here on D.N.D. So
Yeah.
Coming up, we will hear from Dave Michaels down the hallway as our Wishful Giving Radio Event presented by Kessler's Diamonds continues. He's got the story of Carrie. We're going to hear that story coming up straight ahead. Again, you can unwrap the power of a wish. Donate right now at radiowishes.com or by calling 877-272-WISH. You see it on your screen right now if you are watching us on the stream. If you're not, I'll give you that phone number again. It's 877-272-WISH. Or go to radiowishes.com. Also this hour, we'll hear from the voice of the Badgers men's hockey team, second ranked in the country right now as they go on their semester break. Brian Posick will join us just after the bottom of the hour as well. I'm Doug Russell, Nick Brusewitz, Dave Gasper alongside. It's D.N.D. on the game.
Yes, I do. I don't want to beg. I just want to bang on the drum all day.
Today is the final day of our annual Wishful Giving Radio Event, presented by Kessler's Diamonds. Hear incredible stories of how Make-A-Wish has impacted the lives of so many incredible families in our area. Donate now at radiowishes.com or by calling 877-272-WISH. That's 877-272-WISH or radiowishes.com. You are listening to D.N.D. with Doug, Nick, and Dave.
This pains me to say this, but Dave's right.
Hey, why does that pain you to say? I'm right quite a bit, I think.
Middays here on the game. Packers, Broncos. Sunday at 3:25 in Denver.
I mean, I wouldn't say that they have no weaknesses or holes. I mean, I definitely think that there's, plays to be made. I mean, your playmakers got to make plays. I mean, we got to be solid in our game plan. And, I think that there are some ways that we can go out there and make plays. We just got to, execute and take what they give us.
Stay with D.N.D. all day as Doug, Nick, and Dave preview every angle of the contest here on the game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1968.
California's Creedence Clearwater Revival released their debut LP, which contains the number 11 single, Susie Q. And in August, American band Tommy James and the Shondells have a number 1 hit in the UK with Moni Moni. It goes to number 8 in the US. And the Doors have their first number 1 album and their second and last number 1 single with Hello, I Love You.
When she moves, my brain screams out this song.
In November of 68, Van Morrison releases his second solo album, Astral Weeks, and Joe Cocker has a UK number 1 with his cover of the Beatles, With a Little Help from My Friends.
Don't you know I'm gonna make you with my friends? I promised myself I'd get back. Said I'm gonna try it with a true.
And in December, Motown holds the top spot with number 1 hits from Marvin Gaye, I Heard It Through the Grapevine, and the Supremes with Love Child. The Beatles released their first single on their own Apple label, Hey Jude, backed with Revolution. The over 7-minute song went to number 1 in the US and the UK.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1968 coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1974.
All the band on the run. Band on the run.
In January of 1974, the top-selling album of the year is released, Paul McCartney and Wings' Band on the Run. Bob Dylan, backed by the band, has his first number 1 album with Planet Waves. In February, Jersey City's Kool and the Gang have a top 5 hit with Jungle Boogie. New York City's Kiss released their debut, which sells 75,000 copies without a hit single. In March of 74, Canadian band Rush released their debut album, get a new drummer, and go on their first U.S. tour. David Essex has the first of many top 10 hits in the UK and his only U.S. hit with the single Rock On, which goes to number 5. And Steely Dan hit the top 5 with the single Ricky Don't Lose That Number and have a top 10 album too with Pretzel Logic.
Ricky, don't lose that number. It's the only one you know. You might use it if you feel better when you get home.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1974. Coming up.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Elton John songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Tiny Dancer.
All the clothes are tiny dancer. Count the headlights on the highway. Lady darling, she's so blending.
Number 2, Rocket Man.
Papa, man, they think I am at home. Oh, no, no, no. I'm a rocket man. Rocket man. Burning out the fuse out of every home.
Number 1, Benny and the Jets.
She's got electric boots. I'm more food. You know I'm better than a magazine. No. Benny and the Jets.
Hear more from Elton John and similar artists now. Search for Elton John on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
I hope you choose the one that means the most to you. And if one door opens to another door closed, I hope you keep on walking till you find the window. If it's cold outside.
Welcome back in. It's D.N.D. Doug Russell, Nick Bruzewitz, Dave Gasper on this Friday, December 12th. We are in day 2 of our Wishful Giving Radio event presented by Kessler's Diamonds. Unwrap the power of a wish. Donate right now at radiowishes.com or call 877-272-WISH. If you're watching us on the stream, the number is on your screen. Unwrap the power of a wish. Become a Wish Club or Diamond Club member now at radiowishes.com or by calling 877-272-WISH. You can become a Wish Club member for $20 a month or by donating $240 or more. And when you become a Wish Club member, you'll receive a royal blue quartz and gold-filled beaded stretch bracelet with a Wish charm. It's a $75 value, courtesy of our friends at Kessler's Diamonds. You can also become a Kessler's Diamond Club member by donating $1,000 or more, and you'll receive that bracelet that I just talked about, plus a $500 Kessler's Splurge card, which will be mailed to you after the event. Also, we want to thank our silver sponsors, Habish, and Rotier, and also thank our sponsors, Carmex and Design Air. And throughout the event, every donation will be matched by the Dina Hatch Foundation up to $10,000. All right, our friend Dave Michaels from down the hall here at the Megaplex in Milwaukee. He has been telling so many great stories and been talking to so many of the Wish kids and what these wishes have meant to them. Dave today tells us the story of Carrie.
Your donations to this now 17th Wishful Giving Radio event, it helps Make-A-Wish Wisconsin continue granting the wishes of kids in Wisconsin, in our area, battling critical illnesses. That's why we're encouraging you to become a Wish Club or even Diamond Club member today at radiowishes.com. It's why, in this case, we invite Wish kids into the studio to share their story and the impact Make-A-Wish Wisconsin has had on them. Carrie, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
It was 20 years ago. Life threw you a curveball, didn't it?
You could say that. I was a junior in high school, living what I felt was my very best life at the time. And the summer between my junior and senior year, something was off. Fast forward a month of tests and life changed. I ended up needing to have some pretty intensive treatments in the hospital throughout my entire senior year of high school. And it was hard and frustrating and sad.
Did you ever ask why me?
Oh, constantly. to anyone who would listen.
One of the things that helped, besides I'm sure wonderful doctor care and the support of a family unit, was Make-A-Wish Wisconsin. How did that come about?
We were introduced to Make-A-Wish, and they said, you get to make a wish. And I paused my angry teenage self and was like, tell me more about that. 2 Make-A-Wish volunteers came to my house and said, what do you want your wish to be? And I had spent some time thinking about it and talking to my parents and my brother. And I knew I wanted to go on a trip because that wasn't something we could do. And I knew I wanted to go to a beach because that mattered to me. And I had printed out, dial-up AOL internet. And I had printed out this picture of this specific resort in the Bahamas. And I remember telling my volunteers, like, I want to go here. And I handed them that paper. And they looked at it and they were like, great. And I was like, it's that easy. They're like, we want to support you in what you want to do. And so this is where you want to go. Great. Let's make it happen. And that moment 20 years later sticks with me, and my mind was blown, and it remains that way. The more and more, I get to know about Make-A-Wish.
And none of this would be possible without your help. Right now, there are 400 kids waiting for a wish. Your donation to this event will help Make-A-Wish Wisconsin continue granting the wishes of Wisconsin kids battling critical illnesses. You can donate online now at radiowishes.com, radiowishes.com, or call and make your donation at 877-272-WISH, 877-272-9474. Carrie from Fox Point, a Make-A-Wish recipient yourself, thank you so much for being here today and sharing your really inspirational story.
Many people listening probably say, oh, I know someone who had a wish. And there are so many people that you probably don't even realize that we're all 6 degrees separated from someone who has been positively impacted by Make-A-Wish. And any little bit of support makes such a difference for kids and their families and their loved ones and all the people who take care of them. It's so cool to see the ripple effect of a wish, because I promise you that you will help a child have a great day, and it will make you feel good.
All right. That is the story of Carrie. Thanks to Dave Michaels for bringing that to us here on the Game Radio Network. Again, this is the Wishful Giving Radio Event. It's presented by Kessler's Diamonds. Unwrap the power of a wish. Donate right now at radiowishes.com. All right, we'll take a short time out, and when we come back, we'll be joined by the voice of the Badgers men's hockey team and the host of the Wisconsin Hockey Hour, Brian Posick. I guess the first question that I'll have for Brian is, you got some time off now, right? Because the hockey team goes on its break. They've got the Quick Trip Holiday Classic at Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee at the end of the month. But beyond that, it's kind of that weird period in the hockey calendar a little bit. There's some international play, but we'll hit that with Brian Posick coming up on the other side, because this has been just an unbelievable, incredible first half of hockey to watch. If you're a fan of the Wisconsin Badgers, either men's or women's hockey team, we'll hit on it with both of those teams with Brian Posick coming up straight ahead. Stay with us on The Game.
Chance you get, oh, you find God's grace in every mistake, and always give more than you take, but more than
you are listening to the Wishful Giving Radio Event, presented by Kessler's Diamonds. Donate now at radiowishes.com or by calling 877-272-WISH. That's 877-272-WISH or radiowishes.com. Want to watch D.N.D? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
There you go.
There we go.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
Should I stay or should I go?
Will Giannis stay or will Giannis go?
Giannis has not gone up and said, I want to be traded. Giannis has just expressed frustration, and his agent has had to be sort of the guy behind the scenes that has talked about stuff. And so I understand that what people want is, does he want to be traded or not? It's a simple yes or no question that doesn't have a simple answer, because he's elected to try to go through the process without having a firm decision. He's just not thrilled with where they are, but he doesn't know if he wants to go forward.
We're talking about the latest news on the situation here on The Game.
Well, come on and let me know. Should I stay or should I go?
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1975.
In June of 75, the Bee Gees released the LP Main Course, featuring a more dance-oriented sound, and delivered 3 hit singles, including the number 1 Jive Talkin'. In July, Fleetwood Mac shake things up. They add Americans Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks to the lineup and have a number 1 album. And Wings released the album Venus and Mars, which goes to number 1. Their U.S. tour features Paul McCartney's first live appearance in the U.S. since 1966.
Love is fine for all we know. For all we know, our love will grow. That's what the man said. Don't you listen to what the man said. He said.
In August of 75, the Eagles' 4th album goes to number 1 and has 3 top 5 singles, including the number 1 title track, One of These Nights. And the boss, Bruce Springsteen, is featured on the cover of Time magazine, and Born to Run becomes his breakthrough album, reaching number 3 in the U.S.
Come on with me, chance like us. Baby, we were born to run.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1975. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight from 1977.
In June of 77, Ram Jam have a top 20 U.S. hit single with the cover of Lead Belly's song Black Betty. Chicago area rock band Styx have a U.S. top 10 album, Grand Illusion, including the top 10 single Come Sail Away.
Come sail away, come sail away, come sail away with me.
In July of 77, the Grateful Dead veered towards progressive rock, adding strings, horn, and a choir on their 9th studio album, Terrapin Station.
Terrapin, and the whistle is screaming, Terrapin.
In August of 77, the King dies. Elvis Presley's found dead in his home in Memphis, Tennessee at the age of 42. Detroit rock vocalist Iggy Pop releases his second solo album, Lust for Life. It's his second collaboration with David Bowie. New York's Billy Joel releases his 5th album, The Stranger. It goes to number 2 in the U.S., with the single Just the Way You Are rising to number 3.
I want you just the way you are.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1977. Coming up.
Animals need friends. For a list of 10 easy things you can do to brighten their lives, please write People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. That's Peter, Norfolk, Virginia, 23510. Thanks.
Well, you knew that Loverboy was going to be making an appearance at some point. D.N.D, Doug, Nick, and Dave here on the Game Radio Network as we shift gears to the ice, where the Wisconsin men's hockey team is ranked number 2 in the country. Maybe they should be number 1, but I some people are saying
Who's to say?
Some people are saying that. Some people are saying that. I don't know. The women's team, they're always number 1. We take that for granted. Brian Posick is not only the voice of the Badgers men's hockey team, but also the host of the Wisconsin Hockey Hour. You hear him on our Packers coverage as well, doing some historical retrospective pieces. And Brian Posick joins us here on D&D on the Game Radio Network. Brian, appreciate the time. How are you today?
I'm doing good. I hope you guys are good. Every time I hear that song, I think of Chris Farley and Patrick Swayze on SNL. Oh my God. And I just start laughing.
Farley was
laughing, doing their Chippendales routine. Oh my gosh. So funny.
Farley was a specimen. Anyway, you're
going to save that as a drop.
Nice.
So you got a little bit of time off. What do you got coming up? You going to go visit Maddie? What's going on?
No. I saw Maddie in Stockholm in September. No, we're just gonna jump on a plane Sunday morning and fly to Denver and watch the Packers and the Broncos.
Really?
There we
go.
All right.
Yeah. My son lives out in Colorado Springs with his wife, so we're heading out there for a 2-day, 1-night trip to watch the Packers and the Broncos. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be sunny and 60 is what I saw in the forecast today.
Are the Avalanche playing
I
at
know.
all? I mean, you're a
that was a
hockey
good
head.
choice.
Yeah, it was a very good choice.
I would love to, but we oh my gosh, they're the best team in the NHL. If you get a chance to watch the Avalanche play, they are. Mark Johnson and I were talking about them this morning. They are a treat to watch. Kind of like both the Wisconsin hockey teams, the men and women. The women are scoring about 6 goals a game. The men are scoring about 4.5. Combined, they're 33-3, number 1, number 2 in the country. Yeah, it's been a fun first half so far.
I had this question last week, and I don't know if you know the answer to this or not, but you would probably know better than anyone else that I could possibly ask. Has there ever been a point where the Wisconsin men's hockey team and women's team have both been ranked number 1 at the same time? I know the men are number 2 right now, knocking on the door at number 1, but have they ever been 1 at the same time?
Yeah, it's happened a couple of times, most notably when both teams won the national championship in 2006. So, but that's 20 years. That's 20 years ago, and it happened. Wisconsin, Mike Hastings' squad was number 1 in the country a couple of years ago, his first year on the bench, and the women were as well. So that was most recent. It's happened a few times along the way, but it's always fun to talk about. And the Wisconsin men could be very well could be number 1. They were close. I think Michigan received 3 or 4 more first place votes out of 50 total votes that Wisconsin received. So it's and the Badgers split with the Wolverines up in Ann Arbor back in November. So either way, honestly, it's December. You want to be number 1 in April, and that's what both clubs are shooting for.
It's a hell of a long season. I don't know how many people who don't necessarily lock in as much as you do, Brian, recognize that these folks get together pretty early in the school year. They're together in the off season, and then they're together for a stretch run that can last all the way to April. I do want to ask you about covering a team. You've been doing it for a very long time. This break can be great for health, but also I don't know if you want to take this team off the ice right now. So how do they maintain that level of consistency, keep their edge while they're away from the sport for a couple weeks here?
Well, if you're the coaches, you trust your players. They have a strength and conditioning coach on each side. The women have Paul Valukas, the men have Tom Inkrot, and along with the trainers, they'll establish some sort of routine for the time off that the two teams have. The men, again, as Doug mentioned, back at the Quick Trip Holiday Face-Off, December 28th and 29th. The women don't play again until January 9th and 10th, although there are 5 that are skating for the U.S. in the rivalry series against Canada. They play in Edmonton again tomorrow night. They beat the Canadians 10-4 on Wednesday night up in Edmonton. The United States women's team looks head and shoulders better than Canada, and Canada is the second best team in the world. So right now it looks pretty sweet for Team USA in that regard. But so they give these guys the ability to train, and a lot of guys will go back home and find local rinks and go out and skate and just try to stay in shape. The gals too, and then you come back and you get ready to go. Yeah, it's actually Mike was fretting about after the Badgers swept Michigan State in East Lansing. They had a weekend off before going to Notre Dame. And he was worried that, he wanted to play. It's too bad, but that's the way the schedule went. Didn't look like they missed a beat, although they fell behind 2-0 on Friday at Notre Dame and then scored 4 goals in the second period, won 7-4 and then 9-2 the next night. So, you kind of would like to keep it going. But as you mentioned, Nick, this started back in September, first real practices in October, and, the Frozen Four all the way through early April. There's a long way to go.
Brian, I wanted to ask you about a former Badger here that we just saw in the news this past week. Craig Smith retiring from the NHL after 14 years, nearly 1,000 regular season games. A long time with the Nashville Predators. Just what do you remember about his tenure in at Wisconsin and his career in the pros?
Well, I mean, he grew up in Madison. He's from Madison. That's one thing that makes Craig Smith special. He's also a heck of a young man as well. But he had an excellent National Hockey League career. And, you think about his days at Wisconsin. He was part of a Frozen Four team in 2010. Only played 2 years here, and
had close to 75 points in some 80 games or something like that, a point per game player at the collegiate level. But his size and speed was what attracted the NHL to him and the Nashville Predators specifically. And he had an excellent career. And, we wish him the best. We see him around the rink occasionally. He's done some promotional things for the Wisconsin hockey program. I think he'll be fine the rest of his life. He's a talented young man. He can sing, play the guitar. He's just a smart dude. And he parlayed his hockey career at Wisconsin into something special. And speaking of special, Joe Pavelski was just inducted in the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame on Wednesday in St. Paul. The 11th Badger to be inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. Brianna Decker went in last year. Mark Johnson, Tony Granato, Bob Johnson, Jeff Sauer, Tony Granato, Chris Chelios. I mean, you can go on and on. And obviously Pavs was instrumental in the 2006 national championship team. And he left after 2 years, and people are wondering, wait a minute, this guy, he's not built very strong. He's not the fastest in the world, but boy, he knows how to compete, where to find the open areas. His hand-eye coordination, remarkable. And he played 18 years in the National Hockey League, twice in the Olympics. I mean, what a career Pavs had too. So, having covered this team for a long time, you see young men come and go. Some you get to see for a longer period of time playing in the National Hockey League. And then all of a sudden their careers come to an end and you're still calling games, and all of a sudden those guys' kids are playing for the Wisconsin Badgers or somewhere else. So, feeling old as my career moves along, to say the least.
And another one of those guys, Cole Caulfield's playing in the NHL right now for the Montreal Canadiens. He's had a marvelous professional career after an incredible collegiate career. Former Hobey Baker Award winner as well. Some of those guys that you mentioned, though, the Chris Chelioses of the world. You mentioned Joe Pavelski as well. I mean, how many of those guys still kind of hang around the program a little bit? I know not all of them live in Madison or around the area, of course, but how much do they kind of parachute in here and there?
Well, there are quite a few that still do. I mean, Pavelski still lives here. He's got a young son who's a very good hockey player. And Joe has actually been on the ice with the Badgers periodically, not as much lately, but periodically during the preseason, helping in whatever aspect he can. We see Brian Elliott a lot. Adam Burish is a major backer of this program. Andy Brandt, head coach and GM of the Madison Capitals in town. Tommy Gilbert's one of his assistant coaches. Andrew Jodery's been running the Caps for Ryan Suter for the longest time. So you see these guys here and there, mainly at rinks, but they're still here, and they're still very much in love with this program, and will do whatever they can to help it be successful.
Ryan, I know this is maybe not a very positive storyline, but Zach Schultz suffers that pretty significant injury, and he's going to be out now for the season. Really a scary moment. I was listening to you on the radio as it happened. You could tell, certainly jarring for everyone involved. But to lose him from a player perspective, what does that do to this roster?
Well, he is a prototypical defensive defenseman, and he's got some beef to him too. So if you look at the rest of Wisconsin's defensive core, Joe Palachuk would fit into Zach's description. Okay. Otherwise, they're mainly offensive defensemen. You look at Ben Dexheimer, who's the top scoring defenseman in Big Ten games so far this season, and had that remarkable finish to sweep Michigan State in overtime a few weeks back. Logan Hensler and Luke Osborne, Hensler's a first-round draft pick. Both will be playing most likely for Team USA in the World Junior Championship that starts the day after Christmas in St. Paul. Jack Phelan's another defensive defenseman. I think it's going to hurt them. He's not only is he a solid defenseman, but he's one of the captains, and he's one of the leaders of the group. And now he won't be able to get out on the ice and help his teammates reach their ultimate goal. But he'll be around, he'll be involved, and it's too bad. The thing too, about the tournament in Milwaukee. So Zach is out, unfortunately, and then with Osborne and Hensler, again, most likely it's up to Bob Motzko, the head coach of the U.S. squad, to pick his team here in the next couple of days. I would assume they'll both would be on that U.S. squad. And then Ben Dexheimer, who received a game disqualification at the end of that final game in Notre Dame a couple of weeks ago. The Badgers could be without 4 of their top 6 defensemen for that first game against Lake Superior State on December 28th. So all of a sudden, Jack Horbach, who's gone both ways, kind of a utility guy, will move back to defense, and they're going to have to find another forward to fill the gap as well. Plus, Quinn Finley is going to be with Team USA at the Spangler Cup, a long-standing tournament in Switzerland. So the Badgers are going to be shorthanded going into that tournament here in a couple of weeks. Although they've found guys to step up when they've needed them to. Blake Montgomery's come on lately, a very lanky, speedy, big left winger. Tyson Dick, a senior, hadn't played very much, and all of a sudden he's got 2 goals and 6 points in his last 4 games. Needed him at center, and he's filled in admirably. And those are just a couple of examples there. So, but as far as Zach is concerned, that's a big hit, and you really, you can't afford many more, especially in the back end.
Brian, you mentioned one of the guys I wanted to ask you about here, Quinn Finley. I mean, against Notre Dame, 3 goals, 5 points. And he got the Big Ten third star of the week. Just how special has he been for this group lately?
Well, in Notre Dame, he was really good. And actually against Michigan State, he was as well, just didn't have anything to show for it. I think Quinn leads the country in hitting crossbars. His release is fantastic, whether it's a one-time position, a catch and shoot, a wrist shot, even his creativity around the net. But the puck, as far as he was concerned, wasn't going in often enough. He had gone 6 straight games without a goal, almost a month before he scored against Notre Dame on that Friday night in South Bend, and then again the following night too. But he's got 8 goals, and he's a point per guy player right now. 16 games, he's got 16 points. And I'm thinking he's just going to continue to progress as this season goes along. I think the opposition certainly know about Quinn Finley and what he can do, so they defend accordingly. But all of a sudden, with some of this young talent that the Badgers have with Montgomery and Oliver Tolk, Vasily Zilanov, and Luke Osborne, who's a really gifted offensive defenseman, there are other players that the opposition needs to worry about. And hopefully Finley sees a little bit more space and time. And if you give him that, he's going to put the puck in the back of the net.
He is Brian Posick, the voice of the Badgers men's hockey team, ranked 2nd in the country right now. Also the host of the Wisconsin Hockey Hour. And, of course, you listen to him on the Packers Radio Network. Some historical games of note that the Packers have played against their opponents this week. What sneak peek, what game are you featuring this week against the Broncos?
It's their only win ever in the Mile High City back in the Brett Favre days, if I'm not mistaken. I actually, the date escapes me right now. But the Packers, the only time they've won, I think they've been out there, Doug, 8 or 9 times?
Something like
they've only won one time before. So I know we're not flying to Denver to see them lose. I can tell you that. So that's we're hoping for a big W in the Mile High City, and then enjoy ourselves a little bit more. So.
Absolutely. All right. Well, safe travels. We'll talk to you next week. And go Badgers. Absolutely. Have fun out there.
Yeah, by the way, the tickets, Ticketmaster has tickets for that Quick Trip Holiday Face-Off. It's a good field, too. Wisconsin's ranked 2nd. Western Michigan, the defending national champs, are ranked 7th. Boston College is a national power year in and year out. They're up in the top 15 as well. So the first game is that Sunday for Wisconsin at 4 o'clock, and then that Monday at 7:30. So hope to see you there. But otherwise, we'll be calling the games and enjoying every minute of it.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Brian. There he goes. Brian Posick joining us here on D.N.D. on the Game Radio Network.
And it looks like that game, 07.
Okay, 2007. I know
2007.
Whenever I think about the Broncos, it's that one that they lost in San Diego that I don't like to talk about.
Oh, the Super Bowl? That was so many years ago.
That was 28 years ago? The Super Bowl
I don't
32.
remember it.
Well, no. I mean, you just had your 25th birthday the other day, so you wouldn't. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't recall that.
No.
Dave was around. He remembers it well.
Yeah,
this is the Wishful Giving Radio Event. It's presented by Kessler's Diamonds. Hour number 1 of D&D is in the books. Hour number 2 coming up straight up on top of the hour. Update with Dave Gasper. Stay with us.
You are listening to the Wishful Giving Radio Event, presented by Kessler's Diamonds. Become a Wish Club member for $20 a month, and you will receive a royal blue quartz and gold-filled beaded stretch bracelet with a wish charm, courtesy of Kessler's Diamonds. Become a Kessler's Diamond Club member, and you'll also receive the bracelet plus a $500 Kessler's Splurge card, which will be mailed to you after the event. Donate now at radiowishes.com or by calling 877-272-WISH. That's 877-272-WISH or radiowishes.com. Want to watch D.N.D? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
I like him even more.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Journey songs that you thumbed up. Number 3, Separate Ways, Worlds Apart.
Someday love will find you. Break those chains that bind you. One night will remind you. Oh, we touched away on separate ways.
Number 2, Any Way You Want It.
Even for change. Oh, she said, any way you want it, that's the way you need it. Any way you want it. Oh, I said, any way you want it, that's the way you need it. Any way you want it.
Number 1, Don't Stop Believing.
Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Street light, people.
Hear more from Journey and similar artists now. Search for Journey on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1967. Van Morrison, formerly of the band Them, has a number 10 hit as a solo artist with Brown Eyed Girl. In July, LA band The Grassroots scored their first top 10 hit with Let's Live for Today. And UK supergroup Cream, featuring guitarist Eric Clapton, toured the US for the first time.
In the sunshine of your
And in September, Janis Joplin's band Big Brother and the Holding Company signed with Columbia Records and released their debut album. October of 67, Memphis band The Box Tops, including 17-year-old gravel voice singer Alex Chilton, have a number 1 hit with The Letter.
a ticket for an aeroplane. Ain't got time to take a fast train. Lonely days are gone, I'm a going home. My baby used to put me in leather. My baby used to put me in leather.
And in November, the first issue of Rolling Stone magazine is published in San Francisco, featuring an interview with John Lennon. The Who have their first and only U.S. top 10 hit with I Can See for Miles. In December, they smashed their instruments on the Smothers Brothers TV show.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1967, coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1974.
All the band on the run. Band on the run.
In January of 1974, the top-selling album of the year is released, Paul McCartney and Wings' Band on the Run. Bob Dylan, backed by the band, has his first number 1 album with Planet Waves. In February, Jersey City's Kool and the Gang have a top 5 hit with Jungle Boogie. New York City's Kiss released their debut, which sells 75,000 copies without a hit single. In March of 74, Canadian band Rush released their debut album, Get a New Drummer, and go on their first U.S. tour. David Essex has the first of many top 10 hits in the UK and his only U.S. hit with the single Rock On, which goes to number 5. And Steely Dan hit the top 5 with the single Ricky Don't Lose That Number, and have a top 10 album too with Pretzel Logic.
Ricky, don't lose that number. It's the only one you want. You might use it if you feel better when you get home.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1974, coming up.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Peter Gabriel as he reflects on the first official gig Genesis had in 1969.
Oh, well, actually, it was at the end of the lane going to my parents' farm. There was a family there called the Barnes who wanted a band to play at their party. And truthfully, the people at the party really wanted to hear hits, and they didn't want to hear original songs, which is the age-old dilemma for bar bands.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Peter Gabriel and all your favorite artists.
What you waiting for? Let's go. Make sure to make us a preset on the iHeartRadio app so you can listen to us anytime, anywhere. Wisconsin's home for sports and stuff. We are the game.
He's very knowledgeable, very intelligent guy, very personable guy.
Here's Dave Gasper.
The Milwaukee Bucks got the win last night over the Boston Celtics, 116-101. Kyle Kuzma was the leading scorer with 31 points on 13 of 17 shooting. Here's Doc Rivers.
Hey, listen, he's bought into his shot profile like he really has. He avoids the in-between jump shot. We want corner threes from him. We want him to attack the basket. And if he doesn't have layup, spray it out. He did all those things tonight.
Much needed win for this group.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really talk a whole lot about it because the Bucks are kind of where they're at right now. But, they need to start stacking some of these. And if they can start stacking some of these, because they do beat good teams, the Celtics were a hot team coming in.
5 wins in a row.
5 wins in a row. They'd won 10 out of their last 12. They were playing really good basketball. And the ability to have a couple of practice days and then cool off a really hot team. I don't think this is a bad team per se, but sometimes they play really, really poorly. And, so they're still going to be without Giannis for at least a little while. So it's going to be incumbent upon them to get it done.
You know who didn't play really poorly last night? Kyle Pitts.
Cousins over the middle, wide open, and there into the end zone goes Kyle Pitts for the touchdown.
End of the day, he's still on my roster. Yeah, I benched him. I lost 40 points, but if I get past you, I'm playing him next week.
Oh yeah, if you get past me.
If I get past you,
if if.
I mean, it's a big if. Listen, the 40 points would have helped.
They would have been nice
you guys
for you.
Tie. I hope that you guys tie and you both can be winners.
I don't think it works that way. I think there's a tiebreaker.
It probably is.
Yeah,
but I appreciate appreciate the sentiment.
Yeah, but 3 touchdowns for Kyle Pitts. A big night for him. And it leads Atlanta to a 29-28 win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the Buccaneers, I mean, that was a really tough loss for them. They needed it. They needed that game to stay on top in the NFC South. Now the Panthers are in first place down there. So that loss to Carolina not looking as bad as it was at the time. But head coach Todd Bowles of the Buccaneers was understandably not happy.
It's inexcusable. You don't make excuses. You got to care enough where the shit hurts. You got to care enough where the shit hurts. It got to mean something to you. It's more than a job. It's your livelihood. How well do you know your job? How well can you do your job? Well, you can't coach that shit. It was inexcusable, and there's no answer for it. There's no excuse for it. That's what you tell them in the locker room mirror.
I counted 12 edits in that 27-second sound.
Yeah, he's going to get fined. I mean, if you drop one, that's one thing. You drop 12, you're getting fined.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, too,
was he wrong, though?
No, absolutely not wrong. Dave and I on the same wavelength. So later you will hear that again, but with bleeps, because I went through and bleeped each and individual one earlier today. But I guess the point will hammer home. Todd Bowles not happy after blowing a 15-point or 14-point lead yesterday, 28-14. Yeah. And the hex might be broken for Atlanta. 28-3. They blow that lead in the Super Bowl, of course, famously to the Patriots. Yeah. Last night they had a 3rd and 28, and they were able to get that first down after 2 consecutive plays. So maybe 28-3 are no longer bad numbers for Atlanta after converting what was a 3rd and 28 opportunity last night.
Yeah, but this is still just a Week 15 game, and this only improves them to 5-9 versus the Super Bowl.
From a Packers perspective, from a balance of power in the NFC perspective, the Rams have Atlanta's first-round pick. So everyone's rooting for Atlanta to win as many games as possible. So the Rams, who might be a Super Bowl favorite, who could even win the Super Bowl, don't get a top 10 pick. So let's cross our fingers that Atlanta finishes 8-9. It's the 16th pick in the draft for the Rams this next year instead of something that could have been much, much worse for the rest of the field.
Coming up for the Falcons, they have the Cardinals next week, and then the Rams, and then the Saints as their final 3 games on the schedule. So Saints could be a win. Rams are going to be tough.
Rams are tough. Rams are a good team.
Yeah, that they are. And someone who's not a good team, the New York Jets, they have extended Josh Myers to a 2-year, $11 million contract. Former Packers legend, Josh Myers.
That's a low bar for legend, but
yeah, well, it was mostly sarcastic, but yes. But he signed a 1-year prove-it deal over there, and they have decided that they want to keep him around.
I mean, that's what the prove-it deal is all about, right? I mean, he's obviously having a decent season for them. I thought the market was going to be a lot higher for Josh Myers last offseason than what it turned out to be. Turns out he got a bad contract on a bad team. Now he's got a better contract on a
bad team.
Yeah, still a bad team.
Yeah, they're still bad, but because they're so bad, he looks great with them. I mean, there's something to be said about that. He gets a new contract.
Yeah, he just needs a better quarterback to snap it to, one that can actually, complete a pass, as Woody Johnson would put it. And they're hoping they're finding him with Brady Cook, who has been announced as the starting quarterback for the New York Jets this Sunday against the Jaguars.
Okay.
Who is Brady Cook, you ask? I don't know.
Undrafted free agent out of Missouri.
Yeah, he's
undrafted free agent this year. You have Tyrod Taylor and Justin Fields both injured, can't play. So you're going to go Brady Cook at QB.
Yeah.
Jags are going to win. There you go. Jaguars free win.
Why don't they just call up Phillip Rivers, see if he's available? Oh, wait, no, he's already signed.
He's already been snapped up.
Yeah, so who else is washed up that they can go
Jay
get?
Cutler.
Yeah, get Jay Cutler back. Yeah, get him out of retirement play.
He just said within the last
Mark
couple
Sanchez.
days or so.
No, can't do Mark Sanchez.
Cutler said he would wear
Colin
something along the lines
Kaepernick's out there.
I'd show up in bells to play for Ben Johnson. That's what Jay Cutler just said. I'd show up in bells. What does that mean, Doug? You might have more world perspective.
I might show up in bells. Yeah, well, it's just an old-timey colloquial saying. It's like, I'll be there with bells on, something like that.
That's what he said.
Just means I'm excited to be there. That's all it
Jay
means.
Cutler said he'd do it right now to play for Ben Johnson.
I'll be there with bells on. I think it's also probably something that's a little Christmassy as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Got to
nice.
have the Christmas bells.
Sure.
Yeah. The SEC conference schedule has been announced for next year. LSU and Ole Miss are going to play in Week 3, September 19th.
Sema, as the kids say.
Yeah. That's going to be a college game day. That's going to be a prime time. That's going to be appointment viewing. Lane Kiffin heading back to Oxford.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
I cannot wait for that.
All right. That will be interesting. Let's see. Right now, women's volleyball, the Badgers, they've got their
they're playing tonight.
They're playing this afternoon.
Or this afternoon.
1:30 against Stanford in Austin, Texas. So right now, Texas is taking on Indiana. Now, the Indiana volleyball team has a familiar name that you might recall.
Luca Fickle.
Luca Fickle. Not Luke. Luca. He named his daughter Luca. Luke named his daughter Luca.
Interesting.
That's right.
So I guess
Does he have a son, Luco?
I don't believe so. I don't think there's a Luke Jr. I don't believe so. He's got
what about
4
Loki?
kids. I don't think he's got a Loki.
Okay.
He has 6 kids.
6
2 pairs of twins. 2 pairs of
that's
twins.
Right.
Oh,
That's
geez.
right. Yeah.
What are the odds of that?
Not high. He does have Landon, Luca, Aiden, Aston, Lucian, and Lakin.
Okay.
So there you go.
Okay. That's I'm sensing a trend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 4 L's and 2 A's. I don't know.
I don't know how much and how well Luca Fickle plays, but she's on a good team. She's on Indiana. I mean, they're quality.
So she's got to be good.
She's got to be good. There, as I'm looking at the graphic on the screen, 25-7 on the season. I believe I read when the all conference selections came out, she won something. I believe it was like a sportsmanship type of thing or a good citizen type of thing.
Okay.
So at least, I mean, they don't give that to.
Is it like an academic All-American kind of thing?
I'm not sure, but they don't give it to somebody who doesn't play at least. So she's probably at least playing. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, she wasn't first team or anything like that. Then again, this is what blew me away when I saw the first team volleyball list. You know, I figured it would be like a list of about 6 or 7. It was like 30 players long.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm like, well, who isn't on the list then? Everybody's a first teamer. Everybody gets a blue ribbon.
Yeah.
So,
See,
It's based on the regions, so.
Yeah, she's a setter. Doesn't look like she plays much this year. She's got 1 assist.
Oh, then probably
she has
doesn't
played
play.
in 2 games, it looks like.
Oh, well, then never mind. I don't know how she won. I'm not sure how she won any kind of award then, because I wouldn't think that they would give that to somebody who never played.
Yeah. I mean, she's got academic all Big Ten.
That's good.
So that's
good for her.
That's on the ledger.
Okay. Well, she's on the team.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
That's the important part. And it looks like, according to
Yeah.
her bio here, her birthday is coming up in a couple of days on the 17th.
Nice.
Which is also
For
my
what it's
mom's
worth.
birthday.
Oh, there you go.
Happy birthday.
Wow.
Happy
For what
early
it's
birthday,
worth,
Luca.
both the older twin boys who
Not
are
the same
seniors
year.
at Edgewood this year, Ashton and Aiden, are Youngstown State offers. They've both gotten offers from Youngstown State. Those are only offers they
football?
have so far. Yes.
Okay. I wonder if Luke's going to offer them for Wisconsin.
No chance. Slim. He told his oldest son to stay at Cincinnati when he came here. His oldest son was on the Cincinnati team. He said, stay at Cincinnati. So,
Listen, you can't. I want my coach to not
can't
play
have
favorites.
preferential treatment.
Can't have
Yeah.
preferential treatment. And listen, he's a talent evaluator. Now you can make your own judgments as to how good of a talent evaluator, and that's fair. You can make up your own mind about that. But he is a talent evaluator, and when he tells his own kid you're not good enough, well, at least
no, don't come.
Yeah.
Okay, Dad. Fine. I didn't even want to.
Yeah.
I wasn't even going to.
You're the
Dad.
one leaving, Dad.
Screw you, Dad. No,
I didn't even
Don't
want
tell me to go to my room.
I didn't even want to come. He's like, good, you're not.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. I don't even. So, unfortunately, I have seen both Ashton and Aiden in countless slings and casts over the last 3 years. Both those high school boys get hurt over and over again.
Interesting.
They just are injury prone. So if they were in a position to maybe go on to the next level, they're going to have to figure out the health concerns. I would be down there in the post-game presser area, and Mike and I at the time, we'd be doing our one-on-one with Fickle, and then his wife would come up and there'd be small talk and he'd be like, what happened to this one? Oh, well, he broke his wrist. What happened to that one? Dislocated his shoulder. What happened to that knee injury? It's like, when are they not in cast? Mike even had that question to him.
Yeah. Constantly falling out of trees or, doing whatever stuff
Listen,
kids
boys
do.
will be boys.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do.
It happens.
Yeah.
They
So-
feel each other's pain. I think that's like telepathy or something.
It might be. I've got cousins that are twins, but they're not. They're fraternal twins. They look nothing alike. They've never looked anything alike. I can look at baby pictures, even when they were newborns, and I can tell this is Justin and that one's Garrick. They're just so different from each other. I wonder that if you do have a twin, though, like if you're offered at the same school, I mean, do you room together? Is there that telepathy that you're talking about? Can you never be apart? There are some twins who just never are apart, which is, I guess, because I have no, I don't have a twin myself. I have a brother, but I don't have a twin. I just hard to relate.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got no idea. No twins either for me. Thankfully, but,
Can you imagine two of you? No, I'm kidding.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. That'd be terrible.
Yeah.
One of me is hard enough apparently for everyone. but-
Abby's cousin has triplets.
Wow.
Oh,
okay.
Okay. Tell us your twin stories. Are you a twin? 877-794-1973.
Do you do everything with your sibling?
Yeah.
Are you fraternal twin or are you identical twin? We had identical twins, the Glusick twins, when I was in high school, and I could not. And for 6 years, through middle school and all through high school, I could not tell them apart. I wasn't close friends with them or anything like that. So
Yeah.
maybe if I was a close friend with them, I would have known. They were a couple of soccer players, nice guys. Didn't just, we ran in different circles. I could never, ever tell them apart.
Yeah. There was a pair of twins and triplets in my high school class. And the twins, like, they were extremely alike. Like, you had to really kind of like get to know them to be able to tell them apart. Like, just kind of walking by, it's like, which one is that? I wasn't quite sure sometimes. But yeah, the triplets, those were a bit easier to tell apart. But yeah, it's like, wow, that's so many.
All right, we got to set an over-under because we got Matt LePay coming up later on this hour. Matt LaFleur also. We have to set.
We got the two Matts.
We've got the two Matts. I have
Put them
conflated
back
them
to
now.
back.
I need to put like $1 in the jar every time I say Matt LePay and I mean Matt LaFleur because they're in back-to-back segments.
Yeah.
On the same. I know the difference between the two. I've known
Right.
Matt LePay for 25 years.
One of them's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and the other coach is the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who, we're still
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. We're still waiting for that.
You got to get a Super Bowl first.
Got to get through January. You play in February? All right, now you're in the conversation.
Yeah.
But you got to play in February. And he hasn't played in February yet.
Nope.
So we got to set an over-under. I mean, I'm going to go with Paul Brettel.
Okay, 4:30.
He said 4.5. I'm going to go straight 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
Okay.
On Matt LaFleur. We'll have Matt LePay coming up a little bit later on this hour as well. Also, We will hear from Dave Michaels from down the hall and Logan and Melissa as we continue to tell stories during our Wishful Giving Radio event. It's presented by Kessler's Diamonds. Unwrap the power of a wish. Donate right now at wishes.com, radiowishes.com, or call 877-272-WISH. If you are watching us on the stream right now, you've got the phone number and the website on your screen. But again, if you're not listening, or if you were just listening to us and not using the video component of the show today, again, radiowishes.com or 877-272-WISH, and you become a Wish Club member for $20 a month or by donating $240 or more, or Kessler's Diamond Club member by donating $1,000 or more, and you get $500 back in the form of a Kessler's Splurge card that'll be mailed to you after the event. All right, we will hear from Packers coach Matt LaFleur coming up. The over-under is at 4 minutes and 30 seconds. I will be taking over-unders now. Dave, we'll start with you. Over or under?
I'm going to go with under.
Dave is going under. And do you have a time that you think he's going to go?
I'm going to go with 4:11.
4:11. And Nick Bruzewitz.
I'm going to go over. I'm going to go 5:45. I think he's got a lot to say today.
Okay, 5:45. Get yours in on the nicklaylaw.com talk and text line, 877-794-1973. The over-under is set, and it was set by our friend Paul Brettel at 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Dave is going under at 4:11. Nick is going over at 5 minutes and 45 seconds. What say you? Again, 877-794-1973. The Packers head coach meeting the media, giving the Friday injury updates. Coming up straight ahead. Stay with us. It's the Game Radio Network on a Friday.
This is the Wishful Giving Radio Event, presented by Kessler's Diamonds. Every donation will be doubled by the Dina Hatch Foundation up to $10,000. Donate now at radiowishes.com or by calling 877-272-WISH. That's 877-272-WISH or radiowishes.com. Stay tuned.
Yes.
D.N.D will be back in just a moment. What does the future hold for our beloved Giannis?
Giannis Antetokounmpo and his agent, Alex Saratas, have started open conversations that are active right now with the Milwaukee Bucks about the realities of whether his future is best staying in Milwaukee or the realities of moving on elsewhere.
Make sure to stay tuned. Discussing the latest here on the Game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight from 1977.
September of 77, American duo Steely Dan released their sixth album, Asia. It goes to number 3 in the States on the strength of 2 top 20 hits, Peg and Deacon Blues. In October, the major label debut album by Meatloaf is released. Hits number 14 in the U.S. and goes on to be one of the best-selling albums of all time. Leonard Skinner released the album Street Survivor. 3 days later, singer Ronnie Van Zant and 2 other band members are killed in a plane crash. The album goes to number 5 in the States, and the single What's Your Name hits number 13.
What's your name, little girl? What's your name?
In November, Eric Clapton's Slow Hand is released. It goes to number 2, driven by 3 hit singles, Cocaine, Wonderful Tonight, and Lay Down Sally.
Lay down, Sally, and rest you in my arms. Don't you think you want someone to talk to?
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more. From 1977, coming up.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Pat Benatar songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Love is a Battlefield. Number 2, We Belong. Number 1, Hit Me With Your Best Shot.
Hit me with your best shot. Why don't you hit me with your best shot? Hit me with your best shot. Fire away.
Hear more from Pat Benatar and similar artists now. Search for Pat Benatar on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Now, a year in rock spotlight from 1977.
In February of 77, 60s band leader Manfred Mann has a new band and scores a U.S. #1 hit with a cover of Bruce Springsteen's song Blinded by the Light. In March, Foreigner released their debut album. It goes to #4 in the U.S., driven by 2 top 10 singles, Cold as Ice and Feels Like the First Time. Philadelphia blue-eyed soul duo Hall & Oates have their first U.S. #1 with Rich Girl from their 5th album, Bigger Than the Both of Us. Fleetwood Mac's album Rumors is released. It's their second #1 album in a row in the U.S., dominating the charts at #1 for 31 weeks. It spawns 4 top 10 singles, including the #1 Dreams.
When the rain washes you clean, you know.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1977. Coming up.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Rick Springfield to get some insight on his latest release, Rocket Science.
It's a guitar-based record for sure, and I love big hooks, and not a country record at all. It's a rock and roll record, but it does have some country elements.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from Rick Springfield and all your favorite artists.
Are you ready for kids who eat healthy? Good nutrition can lead to great things. To find out how a healthy lifestyle can help your child succeed, go to mypyramid.gov. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and USDA.
Hey, are you making somebody's dreams come true over there on the other side? Somebody's requesting a song.
Yeah, we're not playing it here because by the time we got the request, I had to pick a song. So it's like, okay, then we got to it. But
Taking bumper music requests?
I am, and it's a Christmas music request from one of our Make-A-Wish donors here, donating $100 to Make-A-Wish for the Wishful Giving event here, and for their daughter Melissa. But that song will be coming up in a little bit. This is not the one, but they.
You know what? Let's go rogue. If anybody wants to donate $100 or more, we'll play whatever you want within reason. It can't have bad words in it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
You pledge $100. We will play whatever song you want for bumper music
absolutely.
in and out of the same break.
There we go.
That is our Wishful Giving Radio event presented by Kessler's Diamonds. I love that.
Yeah.
Listen, non-traditional revenue, baby. This is it's Make-A-Wish for crying out loud. This is charity. It's for the kids.
Exactly. So the song that they wanted, now that I actually can get it pulled up here, was
iHeartRadio.
Oh, come on. Why do we got to have this?
We'll pump the brakes on that. We'll get to it on the other side. We've got Matt LaFleur to get to, but we will get the request in. I promise. You pledge money?
Yes. We'll get it next segment. We'll get it next
segment. Definitely. Yeah. All right. We've set the over-under at 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Dave has gone under. Nick has gone over. And get yours in on the nuclearlaw.com talk and text line at 877-794-1973. Are we ready, Dave?
We are ready.
All right. Hit it. We hit the over. Oh, barely over.
Just barely.
Barely.
Come on, Mike.
4 minutes.
Let's go.
And Nick, you are, let's see. You picked the over, though.
Yeah. But I was closer in terms of total time.
No, Nick got the over. Yeah, Nick, what am I talking about? Nick got the over. Yeah, so Nick wins.
That's right.
Nick is
I still win.
Nick is the big winner today.
Yeah. I just lose a bunch of points from being so far away in the total time. I mean, my gut told me 5:14, and then I leaned in at 5:45. So
yeah,
I did well. I still won.
Can I call it a push then with me winning on the time guess being closer to that?
No, this is Price is Right rules.
Yeah, I win.
Well,
now
wait a minute.
Under.
If this is Price is Right rules, then he went over, which means he loses.
No, but he picked the over.
Yeah, I know, but
he picked the over. We set the over under at 4:30. He picked the over. You picked the under.
Yeah.
I know.
If it was 4:31, he still wins.
Technically, Dave's right? I mean, if Price is right, I would have gone
Price
over.
Is Right
All right,
rules.
then we're going Maritime rules.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. But
yeah,
when you said this is Price is Right rules, I'm like, wait a minute. Price is Right. You go over even by $1.
Sure.
That's it.
The question was over under, and then for fun, for S&Gs, I was given what do you think it's actually going to be? And I was just blatantly, it was wrong.
Right. I know. I'm just trying to scrape some sort of a win out of this because I know,
okay,
I lost, but
yeah, no,
I mean, it's all right.
Just sometimes, listen, like with Kyle Pitts last night, sometimes you just got to wear it.
Yep.
I'm wearing it. I'm wearing it today.
Yeah.
And you're wearing it right there.
Yep. I am.
Sometimes you just got to wear it. All right. Time now, once again, during our Wishful Giving Radio event. It's presented by Kessler's Diamonds. Unwrap the power of a wish. Donate right now at radiowishes.com or by calling 877-272-WISH. And also, if you donate $100 or more, this is completely 100% going rogue, but whatever. If you donate $100 or more, we'll play whatever bumper music you want in and out of a break.
Yep.
Now, our friend Bethany on the talk and text line wrote in, and we love messages like this, that she was so moved by the stories that she's been listening the last couple of days. She, like most of us, routinely toss many nonprofit mailings that come to my house, been moved by the stories and joined the Wish Club.
There we go.
We'd love to hear that. We love to hear that. Time now to hear another story from our friend Dave Michaels down the hallway. He tells us the story today of Logan and Melissa.
The gift of a wish can help hundreds of kids here in southeastern Wisconsin. That's why we're doing our 17th annual Wishful Giving Radio event presented by Kessler's Diamonds. In studio with me now is both Logan and his mom, Melissa. Thanks for being here. Where are you guys from?
Good. We're from Franklin, Wisconsin.
Melissa, good to see you again. How are you?
I am good. Thank you.
Your son, Logan, was diagnosed at a very, very young age, wasn't he?
The first 11 months of his life, he was spent in the hospital. Well, when he was born with chronic respiratory disease, laryngeo and tracheomalacia. It was just one thing after another when he was born. He started out as a twin. We lost his twin. And then December of 2009, we found out that he had a brain abnormality. And in April of 2010, he had his first brain surgery. And after the surgery, he contracted MRSA around his brain. And we were told that he was probably not going to make it through that. And his neurosurgeon, his neurologist, put in for a Make-A-Wish for him.
So what was your wish, Logan?
That one's my favorite theme park, Walt Disney World.
Melissa, you're watching your son with a smile on his face.
It was awesome. It was awesome. And my other kids too.
Sure.
And that's just the thing, is the Make-A-Wish was for Logan, but it was also for my other kids. Because when he was getting his treatment, we were up at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. So I was with him and I did not leave Logan's side. And my other kids didn't have a mom for over a year.
Your story, obviously very powerful, very impactful, but explain how the money raised have an impact on not just a family who is going through a similar experience that you went through now over a decade ago, but can have an impact for years to come for that same family.
For me, Make-A-Wish was a treatment. It was a time where I could finally be a kid again. I didn't really have to worry about when my next procedure was, when the next time I'm going to get a shot is, like anything along the lines of that. I got to be with my family and be the kid that I always wanted to be.
It brought us all back together again. And he got to be a kid. He got to be a brother. He got to be a son and not just a medical patient.
And none of that would be possible without, like I said, the generosity of so many people. We are a very giving community. There's no better organization than Make-A-Wish Wisconsin to give this holiday season. That's exactly what you can do during our Wishful Giving Radio event here, radiowishes.com, radiowishes.com, or call 877-272-WISH. Good to see you guys. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Dave. Thank you for telling us the story of Logan and his mom, Melissa. Again, unwrap the power of a wish. Become a Wish Club or Diamond Club member now at radiowishes.com or call 877-272-WISH. Is this the song that they requested?
No, we're playing it in and out of the next segment.
break. Okay.
Yeah.
So we will play In and Out with Matt LePay.
Yeah.
Who's
that's
scheduled
right.
to join us coming up straight ahead. He is the voice of the Badgers. Football season, of course, is wrapped up, but yeah, he got to have a front row seat on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Tuesday night?
Wednesday
night.
Yeah.
Right. It was garbage night. That's how I remembered.
Ah, yes. Oh,
Well,
that plays
no,
like
garbage game.
Well, listen, that's how I should remember because it was garbage night at my house.
It was garbage night.
And it was garbage night in Lincoln.
Yep.
Because that was not a great game. Matt LePay coming up straight ahead. Stay with us. It's D.N.D. on the game.
To donate to Make-A-Wish and give families the experience of a lifetime, go to radiowishes.com or call 877-272-WISH. That's 877-272-WISH or radiowishes.com. Want to watch D.N.D? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
I like him even more.
Just search 97.3 The Game. Coming off the win over the Bears, the Packers are preparing for a tough road test in Denver against the Broncos on Sunday.
They do a great job. Vance does a hell of a job putting his guys in position, and there's just not really a weak link out there. When you look at their front, their backers, their back end, they've got players across the board. I mean, the sack numbers are pretty crazy. Their run defense is pretty crazy.
We're giving you everything you need to know before Sunday's tilt all day on the game.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Elton John to reflect on a day in the life of writing and producing the Goodbye Yellow Brick Road album in France.
We all stayed at the Shadow in bedrooms, along with my producer, Gus Dudgeon, and Bernie, who wrote the lyrics. And I used to get up, and same time as Bernie, I went down to breakfast. Bernie would be typing, not Bernie Taupin. And he would give me a lyric. And I would have my breakfast, and I would have a croissant, and wander over to the electric piano. We had our instruments set up around the breakfast table, a guitar amp, a bass amp, and a drum kit, and the electric piano, and a mic. And I would sit down and write a song to those lyrics. Hence, then, could I wake the band up because I'd be playing and singing, and they'd come down and having their breakfast, or even before they started, they would join in, and we would write the song straight away. After we'd finished, we'd go straight over to the other side. Maybe we write two, but mostly one. Start the day off with a song, and I'd go off to the other side of the courtyard to the studio and record the song, and then write in the studio.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Elton John and all your favorite artists. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1968.
Born to be wild.
In January of 1968, Steppenwolf released their debut album, including the single Born to Be Wild, which charts at number 2 in the U.S. Johnny Cash records 2 live shows at California's Folsom Prison, along with June Carter and Carl Perkins. Also in January, the Beatles are number 1 with Hello Goodbye. In London, they launched their own company, Applecore, with a store, a recording studio, and record label. February of 68, Pink Floyd lead singer Syd Barrett is checked into a psychiatric hospital and the band replaces him with David Gilmour. The Beatles, Donovan, Mia Farrow, and others travel to India to study transcendental meditation with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. And Bill Graham opens the Fillmore East concert venue in an abandoned New York City theater. April of 1968, the musical Hair opens on Broadway for the first of 1,750 performances. It would spawn several top 40 hits, including Aquarius, Good Morning Starshine, and Hair. Simon and Garfunkel released their album Bookends, which goes to number 1 in the US and the UK. The single Mrs. Robinson would go to number 1 in June, thanks to the movie The Graduate.
God bless you, please, Mrs. Robinson. Heaven holds a place for those who pray. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more. From 1968, coming up.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Aretha Franklin songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. Number 2, Freeway of Love. Number 1, Respect. Hear more from Aretha Franklin and similar artists now. Search for Aretha Franklin on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
I want a hippopotamus for Christmas. Only a hippopotamus will do. Don't want a doll, no dinky tinker toy. I want a hippopotamus to play with and enjoy.
This is what $100 will get you.
Yeah. For Christmas.
Are we selling airtime for the Make-A-Wish Foundation? Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, a little bit.
Tis the season.
Bring him through the front door.
Who was the one who donated the money for I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas?
This would be the parents of Melissa.
Parents of Melissa.
Who was a Make-A-Wish kid.
Love it.
And she got to meet John Cena as her Make-A-Wish.
John Cena, he has granted so many wishes. He's
So many.
so good with these kids.
Yeah.
How many Make-A-Wishes are to meet Matt LePay, and why hasn't Matt granted them yet?
There's too many. I think there are too many for him to handle. Perhaps,
That's right.
because Matt LePay joins us now, the voice of your Wisconsin Badgers. And I don't know, have there been any? I haven't had any radio nerds that have asked me for any of that. But then again, I'm not Matt LePay. I'm not the voice of the Badgers. Has anybody ever made it their desire to sit next to you while you're calling a game?
Yeah, because they want me to take the picture with Butchie. So I'll be the photographer.
That's
So
right.
the answer to your question is yes.
Okay,
I have duties.
love it. Okay, so for all of the Badgers men's basketball games that you called, Wednesdays was certainly one of them. What happened? I mean, they were playing pretty decent ball halfway through the first half, and then, man, they went as ice cold as the weather is right now.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those over the years, either for them or to them. The bottom line was they didn't guard anybody. You know, we were talking with Greg Gard after the game, so we could talk about John Blackwell going 1 for 11 and the 7 for 32 from 3. but it's the other end of the floor that had him pretty ticked off after the game in his chat with us, and certainly in his media session with everybody else after the game. I mean, they couldn't guard a chair in that game, and Nebraska was able to absolutely tee off on them. And I've seen the movie. We've seen Wisconsin do this to guys where even players who can't shoot threes all of a sudden can. One of their bigs, Berka Büyüktüncel, the junior from Turkey, was 2 for 20 from three coming into the game. He was 2 for 2 on Wednesday night. But I felt like during the course of the night, I was talking about uncontested layups or and ones. In other words, they were being contested a little too late. And Nebraska just got what it wanted, when it wanted. And it was just one of those, whatever could go wrong did. And it was just a bad night for this team. And I think what really bothers Greg is this team has just not consistently been good defensively. There have been games, yes, but they just haven't been able to string them together. And when you play better teams, and this is hard, I know Nebraska isn't known as a basketball school, but they're pretty good this year. They've got a lot of talent. And when you're off, you're not guarding people, a team like Nebraska will carve you up. And that's what happened Wednesday.
Over the last couple of years, I think that the fans' perspective of the identity of the program has shifted, right? I mean, it was forever, you recognized Wisconsin as a tough match. If you were coming into to the Kohl Center or they were coming to your house, you were in for a battle. They were going to really challenge you defensively. Last couple of years, prolific offense, and defensively, they've been fine. They've been good. I mean, there's a reason why they won as many games as they had, but it's kind of gone to the back seat. With Greg Gard, it's never gone to the backseat. So how does he get this team right? The toughness seems to be in question right now. I'd hope the players respond moving forward.
Yeah, I think the challenge is it's, because you work the transfer portal, that doesn't always mean you're going to be great. If you don't work the transfer portal, you'll have challenges, as Shaka Smart's team is going through right now. I think with Wisconsin through the years, if it was Dick Bennett, Bo Ryan, and now Greg Gard, when you're new to the program, it's the defensive end of the floor that you're kind of playing catch up as a player. You have your offensive skill set, but the demands defensively are pretty extensive, and that hasn't changed. As much as this offense has evolved, you want to play with more pace. They're obviously scoring at a much better clip. But yet, to me, the elite teams in college basketball, and this isn't new, the elite teams can win in different ways. And we haven't seen this Wisconsin team yet show an ability to win a game 62-59. When that was a regular occurrence for the longest time with Wisconsin basketball. We know the Badgers can score, even though they only scored 60 points the other night. That's been an outlier. But it's the inability when the shot isn't falling, can you turn the game into more of that grinder type of a night? And they haven't shown it yet. So you want to see, is this month of December, they got 3 games left in December, and as you move forward, can this team gel at that end of the floor and at least be solid on the defensive end? Because if you're that, you'll have a really good year because of the firepower that you have at the offensive end of the floor.
Matt, what do you make of the home road splits for this team so far? I know a lot of them have been technically neutral site, and this was their first true road game at another team's arena. But 1 and 3 when they're away from the Kohl Center there. What do you make of the difference in play when they go out on the road?
It's more who they've played to me, David. I mean, you play BYU, which is really good, a top 10 team. TCU is good. Nebraska is really good. It's undefeated. And whatever worth you want to put on rankings, Nebraska's a top 25 team right now, and Wisconsin is not. And that was the case going into the game. So it's more that. I mean, Wisconsin is 0-2 versus quad 1, 1-1 versus quad 2. So the wins have been quad 3, quad 4. So they still have to prove to themselves that they can match up and you can hang with the best teams. They haven't had many chances with that yet, but they're going to get a lot of chances moving forward. So that's the biggest thing. It's interesting because I saw a post from, it's called the Field of 68. It's a social media site, and then it's a podcast. Jeff Goodman and other national media folks do this in college basketball. Kentucky against quad 1's 0-4. St. John's quad 1, 0-3. Oregon 0-4 versus quad 1, quad 2. And these are some of these programs that have brought in the transfers. St. John, certainly we know how good that program was under Rick Pitino last year. It's just a matter, I think, some programs, just with the players you bring in, it could take longer for everybody to gel. I don't think, and Butchie pointed this out, I don't think it's a talent issue. It's just a matter, can you gel? If some teams maybe take a little longer offensively, some teams a little longer defensively. I think we know where Wisconsin falls there. Now can all these guys come together and just play solid defense when you're up against the better teams on your schedule? Like I said, they're going to get a lot of chances to see where they are moving forward.
I get the sense, and this may sound like a pejorative term, I certainly don't mean it as such, but I get the sense that Greg Gard is what I would term a gym rat coach. And gym rat coaches love nothing more than practice. There's 9 days in between the Nebraska game and when they play Villanova at Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee. What do you think those practices in those 9 days are going to look like for Greg Gard as he tries to kind of turn this defense around?
He wants to find 5 guys who will defend. And he dropped hints. They're going to take a look and see. They made one lineup tweak with Alexis Bielauskas stepping in for Austin Rapp here in the last 3 games, and I would think there's going to be a very strong defensive emphasis. And at the other end of the floor, the fact that they took 32 threes, that's not – I don't think that's a problem, the number itself. Half of their shots were threes. That's what they've been doing. In fact, a little more than half of their shots have been threes going into the Nebraska game. It's the quality of those shots. Are they in rhythm? Are you going in? Are you touching the paint? Are you spraying it out? Are you squared up, or is it just, as Butchie would say, you're killing grass, dribble, 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 and then just go launch as the shot clock is winding down? There were probably too many of those non-rhythm threes, but the actual number, I don't think that number alone bothers Greg. It's how you get to those shots. But first and foremost, they know that they've got to get a lot better defensively. And if that means you got to change the lineup a little bit, then so be it. It'll be interesting to me if they do that, because you have some pretty talented dudes in that starting 5. But these practices will be really, really important in the midst of final exams and all that other fun stuff. But these are really important practices between now and when they play Villanova next Friday night.
Matt, to transition to a greater Big Ten conversation, Sharon Moore out at Michigan. We're not going to dig into ultimately the rationale and the reasons to why he's gone, but does Michigan innately just have the ability to rebound from it like a program like maybe Michigan State wouldn't be able to? Like, Michigan's got the pedigree, the players want to be there anyway. I feel like that would sink a team. Like if it happened at Indiana, I think Michigan's probably going to be okay regardless. What do you say?
I agree with you. The story will probably get worse before it gets better as this whole thing advances. Yep. But in the long run, because it's Michigan, I think Michigan will be fine. I was telling Billy and Armin this yesterday. Now, the circumstances were dramatically different, but when Ohio State made a coaching change, when Jim Tressel parted ways with Ohio State, that was the spring of 2011. Then Luke Fickell was the interim, and that program, relatively speaking, that was kind of a hot mess because a beloved coach, national championship coach, and Jim Tressel, he leaves, and they spin their wheels for 1 year. I, guilty, and others also guilty in the market was saying, well, here's a chance. You go pounce on Ohio State now. They're going to be struggling here for the foreseeable future. And then here comes Urban Meyer, and they basically slapped the crap out of the Big Ten for the rest of the decade. So I think there's the obvious, this is a sad situation, at least based on what has been reported so far. You think certainly of the family, and not just Sharon Moore's family, the family of the staff, because when new coaches come in, new coaches are going to bring in a lot of new people. So you have a lot of folks who are going to be affected by this with the Michigan program, a lot of folks who are there now. But the program itself, the brand is so big. From a football perspective, they'll be fine.
It is sorted. It is messy, but it is kind of is what it is. It's the human condition, if you will. He is the Hall of Fame voice of your Wisconsin Badgers, Matt LePay, joining us here on D.N.D. You've got a weekend off. What's that all about?
Ooh, got some holiday gatherings coming up tonight, tomorrow, and
Very nice.
all little holiday cheers. So that'll be good. Get away from the Badgers for a couple days. I'm good with that.
You get to wear something other than red.
Exactly. Yes.
Thanks.
I'm not Santa Claus. I'm not going to be Santa Claus, I don't think. So
Well, we'll see. You got the white hair on top. You just have to grow the beard.
Yeah, I guess I may be speaking too soon there. So
Thanks, Matt. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys. Take care.
All right, there he goes. The Hall of Fame voice of your Wisconsin Badgers, Matt LePay, the voice of the Badgers with the weekend off. As it is, some holiday cheer. Let's give you some holiday cheer on the way out. Hour number 3 coming up.
There's lots of room for him in our 2-car garage. I'd feed him there and wash him there and give him his massage. I can see me now on Christmas morning creeping down the stairs. Oh, what
Donate right now to Make-A-Wish during our Wishful Giving Radio Event, presented by Kessler's Diamonds. Go to radiowishes.com or call 877-272-WISH. That's 877-272-WISH or radiowishes.com. Want to watch D.N.D? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
There you go.
There we go.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1969.
In May of 69, Neil Young releases his first album with Crazy Horse, Everyone Knows This Is Nowhere, featuring the songs Cinnamon Girl and Down by the River. The Who released the double concept album Tommy, which goes top 10 in the US and the UK.
He bought my favorite table, he can't beat my best. His disciples needed him, and he just does the rest. Stop crazy, flipping fingers, never seen him fall. That kept on the blind kid, sure plays a mean pinball.
David Bowie's single Space Oddity, released to coincide with the Apollo 11 moon landing, reaches number 5 in the UK. Also in July, Bob Dylan has a top 10 hit with Lay Lady Lay in his new, deeper-sounding vocal style, which he attributes to quitting smoking.
Whatever colors you have in your mind, I'll show them to you, and you see them shine. Lay, lady, lay, lay across my big brass bed.
Blood, Sweat, and Tears have a number 2 hit with Spinning Wheel, popularizing the so-called brass rock movement. That includes BST, Chicago, and Electric Flag.
Drop all your troubles by the riverside. Catch a painted pony on the spinning wheel ride.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1969. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1969.
In May of 69, Neil Young releases his first album with Crazy Horse, Everyone Knows This Is Nowhere, featuring the songs Cinnamon Girl and Down by the River. The Who released the double concept album Tommy, which goes top 10 in the US and the UK.
He bought my favorite table, he can't beat my best. His disciples needed him, and he just does the rest. Stop crazy, flipping fingers, never seen him fall. That kept on the blind kid, sure plays a mean pinball.
David Bowie's single Space Oddity, released to coincide with the Apollo 11 moon landing, reaches number 5 in the UK. Also in July, Bob Dylan has a top 10 hit with Lay Lady Lay in his new, deeper-sounding vocal style, which he attributes to quitting smoking.
Whatever colors you have in your mind, I'll show them to you, and you see them shine. Lay, lady, lay, lay across my big brass bed.
Blood, Sweat, and Tears have a number 2 hit with Spinning Wheel, popularizing the so-called brass rock movement. That includes BST, Chicago, and Electric Flag.
Drop all your troubles by the riverside. Catch a painted pony on the spinning wheel ride.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1969. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1975.
In September, the Isley Brothers have a number 1 album, The Heat Is On, driven by the number 4 single, Fight the Power. Alive is a 2-record live album that goes to number 9 for Kiss. They released the single Rock and Roll All Night, which goes to number 12. David Bowie switches to Philly Soul on the LP Young Americans, featuring the #1 single Fame, which was co-written by John Lennon. UK rock band Foghat have a top 20 hit with Slow Ride from the album Fool for the City. In October of 75, Pink Floyd released their follow-up to Dark Side of the Moon. Wish You Were Here goes to #1 in the US and the UK.
What have we found? Same old fears. Wish you were here.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1975. Coming up.
iHeartRadio soundtrack flashback.
Deep down, we're all Ducky. Pretty in Pink in 1986, another teen classic, had a huge soundtrack full of hits that we now call alternative. The biggest of all, If You Leave by Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark.
I touch you once, I touch you twice. I won't let go at any price.
For more great movie soundtrack hits, check out Popcorn Radio on the iHeartRadio app.
Your attention, please. We are the gang and the home of D.N.D. with Doug, Nick, and Dave. Weekdays from 10 to 2, live 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Watch the show on YouTube, Facebook, and X by searching 97.3 The Gang.
He's very knowledgeable, very intelligent guy, very personable guy.
Here's Dave Gasper.
The Milwaukee Bucks are celebrating a win today. They won over the Celtics last night, 116-101, which made for a very happy Doc Rivers.
I thought the spacing was perfect tonight. One of the things we talked to you guys about going in the break was correcting our spacing. I thought we had room tonight. Guys wasn't in the wrong spots. When a guard drove, he knew where the other guy was at. I thought we played a very organized basketball game tonight.
About time they played an organized basketball game.
Okay, so I know these are professional athletes, and you can't always judge one game as opposed to the next because there is the human element. But if you know what's correctable, and then you go out and correct it, why can't you play every game with that same fundamental principle? How do you get away from that? I mean, I'm not talking about missed shots. Missed shots are going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Other teams are going to be better than you. That's going to happen. That's part of the game. But as far as like the spacing, as far as the game plan, why does it fluctuate seemingly so much with this team? You know what needs to be corrected. You see the results when you do correct it. So why can't you just play that way every game?
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, it should be kind of a consistent thing. It's not like the fundamentals of basketball really change that much, from game to game. So, yeah, once you get it embedded in them, you get it doing one game. It's like, okay, let's keep doing that, keep that a focus, and haven't been able to, but they were able to do it last night, which is the important part for a 15-point win over.
They're not even at the G League level playing fundamental basketball. Like I just saw a snapshot of a game last night in regulation. It was 174-146. The Rip City remix lost. The G League teams they're not even playing defense. I mean, there's fundamentally basketball's in hell right now. It's all offense, no defense.
Yeah.
And guys play one night, they play different the next night. Kuzma's going to be terrible in this next game. I feel it right now.
Yeah,
I feel it in my bones.
They're next playing the Brooklyn Nets, who are 6-17, playing them on Sunday at 5 o'clock.
I'd watch out.
So
you're smelling a loss.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm feeling pretty validated in my opinion on Miles Turner, though, from months and months ago.
Yeah, 4 points.
Yeah, he hasn't been good.
He hasn't fit in at all. No. And maybe he's just not the right fit, and he's a better player than what he's looked. But so far, he's been, I would feel like not much of a net positive, if a positive at all.
Yeah.
No, he hasn't been good.
Yeah, and being much better than he's looked for the majority of his career was Kyle Pitts last night.
5 targets, 5 catches, 93 yards. Cousins going that way again. He's got it. Touchdown. What a night for Kyle Pitts.
What a night for him. Wow. Tough night to have him on your bench.
Yeah, he's still on my roster, though. So
yeah,
watch out if I get past you.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Watch out to the rest of the league.
Yeah,
But,
I still have my
to
whole
watch out
roster
for
to
him.
go. No, you don't have to watch out for him, but you might be eliminated next week, though, too.
Maybe. It's possible. But
who's to say?
But if I get past you, then I got bragging rights at least.
Sure, but you don't have Kyle Pitts.
That's true. I do not. But
On your
instead I have
starting
Brock
lineup or on your
Bowers.
bench?
I'm fine with Brock Bowers. He's been good.
All right.
Yeah, he's a great player.
Yeah, but the Atlanta Falcons, they get the win on Thursday Night Football, 29-28 over the Buccaneers, who now slipped to second place in the NFC South. Meanwhile, in Major League Baseball, we're seeing an extension for Michael Garcia, but the Kansas City Royals gets 5-year deal. We also have Jeff Passan reporting that Stephen Vogt has received a contract extension with the Cleveland Guardians, but Pat Murphy has not yet received one.
Well, they have similar resumes now, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Trouble
both
in Paradise?
I mean, they both won back-to-back Manager of the Year awards.
Yep.
And very quietly. I mean, the Brewers like to do it, quietly when it comes to coaches'
Is
contracts.
Murph on the
and
outs with the Brewers? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
That's what I was saying, right?
I don't think that's the case, but yeah, it's kind of curious that they haven't gotten that done quite yet. Murphy hasn't gotten one, but Stephen Vogt has. I mean, both got 3-year deals when they started as managers, first-time managers, and they both win back-to-back Manager of the Year.
Okay.
Cleveland's like, okay, Stephen Vogt, we'll sign you to an extension. The Brewers
I'm trying to think of
haven't done it yet.
Trying to think of puns for the Murphy name. Future looking a little Murphy in Milwaukee instead of murky. I mean,
no, I don't like that at all.
No, it's not.
No.
Things looking
Not
a
your
little
best.
Yeah, I like I said, I didn't say I had one. I said I'm thinking of them.
Yeah.
Keep workshopping.
What would
Both
the headline
pancakes
be?
and a contract extension are in the back pocket for now because they have not
There
been.
you go.
That's a little better. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a little bit better.
Yeah. So hopefully that'll end up happening soon. Because,
We'll keep workshopping it.
Yeah, we have to,
Find,
I mean.
we'll find some. Text it in 877-794-1973. What's your headline for it? Also, Sharon Moore has been officially charged now. He had his arraignment in court today. He's been charged with third-degree felony home invasion, misdemeanor stalking, and misdemeanor breaking and entering.
What's stunning to me is that it took this long to get all this out into the light, because the more I read about this and the more I hear about this, this was the worst kept secret in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Yeah.
Legitimately, it feels like everyone knew.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Every single person.
That every single person in Ann Arbor knew that Sharon Moore had a side piece that worked for him. And there are other elements and layers to this. But if this was against the contract that he signed, if this was against university policy, how on earth did they let him coach this season?
Yeah.
I mean, and they also fired him at the worst possible time. This change made, I mean, if you wanted to fire him with cause, there were plenty of opportunities that you could have done that early in the hiring cycle, and maybe you would have wound up with Lane Kiffin, for example.
Yeah.
Or you could have wound up with James Franklin if you wanted him. I don't know if they would have wanted him or not. I'm just
Matt Campbell.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes. You could have wound up with, you could have gotten, because you are Michigan and you are a blue blood, not that LSU isn't. LSU is absolutely a blue blood as well.
Yeah.
But you could have at least, had a chance to get the coach that you wanted. You knew about, I mean, that to me, there's so many layers to this. And there's so many things that don't make sense. There are so many things that it just seems so untoward at every single possible turn. But again, everyone seemed to know. It surprised no one that this came out. The only thing that was surprising was that Sharon Moore snapped, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the part where it all really falls apart from him. It's one thing, to see him fired, but then when it's like, oh, he gets arrested, because everything kind of crumbles out around him. I mean, it just made it so much worse.
A week ago,
according to Nicole Auerbach, the NBC Sports lead college football insider, the prosecutor says that Sharon Moore and the woman had an intimate relationship for a number of years. Quote, our victim broke up with the defendant on Monday morning. She presented herself to the school and corroborated the fact they had a relationship.
Good work.
So there you go. They break it off, or she breaks it off, and then she goes to the school and tells them, hey, here's all the evidence of everything that's happening. You probably heard rumors. Here's everything. with it.
Yeah. So
we
when
didn't need the
confronted with
nude
that-
photos. Jeez.
Well,
here's everything.
Probably didn't.
I didn't need everything.
Probably
I
didn't
just-
need. I don't know if she handed over everything.
Yeah.
Now there was a report, and again, all it was a report was that she was pregnant. Is there any evidence of that, or is that just a rumor that kind of caught fire? Or do we not know?
I'm not entirely sure. Oh, there's a mugshot of him sitting at
Yeah, a
picture of him
week
sitting in
ago,
the chair. But,
Sharon
yeah.
Moore was the head coach at the University of Michigan.
Now
was
he's in
as hot-
handcuffs.
I mean, now he's in a jumpsuit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. I'm not sure. I mean, I did see the report that, Plan B was DoorDashed to the house, and the
That doesn't mean
DoorDasher
that you're
kind of
pregnant.
raised
It
it
just
up.
means that you
Yeah.
It means you forgot a
I'm
condom
not
that
sure on all of those details. Nicole Auerbach also adding here that the prosecutor has said that Sharon Moore went to the woman's house, grabbed butter knives and kitchen scissors, and threatened to kill himself.
With a butter
And then,
knife?
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's going to take a while, but I'm going to do it.
And threatened her that my blood is on your hands.
Wow.
So,
really?
Yeah, that's the
probably not
quote.
with a butter knife.
Yeah, it's might take a little bit, but
Probably he brought his butter knife and his safety scissors and
Yeah,
started to friction burn himself.
You don't know what's going on beneath the surface, and you know that being the head football coach at any of these blue blood programs, it's a pressure cooker. But man, when you snap like that, and if you're Sharon Moore, at least at some point you got to do the honorable thing. And if you're going to be in a relationship with somebody else, be in that relationship with somebody else, and at least give your family that you've created a little bit of dignity on the way out. If you're going to divorce your wife, listen, I don't condone what he did or anything like that, but people get divorced all the time for all kinds of different reasons.
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin was.
Yeah. His wife's going to make out like a bandit in that divorce, though.
She should.
Yeah.
So did Layla Kiffin. Now, did they get back together? Did Layla Kiffin and Lane Kiffin get back together?
I don't know.
I don't know that either. But I know that they divorced because Lane, he was kind of whoring himself around too. So
ex-wife did not get back together.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, these coaches feel like they are, because they're treated like kings of campus. And oftentimes they take advantage of that. But at least give your family, listen, even if you don't like your wife, which, you made 3 kids with them, but at least with your kids, give them just some dignity, because they've got none right now. And it's all your fault. You did all of this. If you're going to divorce their mom, give her a good settlement, take care of your kids on the way out. But just this embarrassment, my God.
Yeah. It's almost like the people who do this aren't like thinking clearly.
Yeah. Well, clearly not.
Clearly. Yes. So yeah, it's as Matt LePay intimated last segment, it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Going to get far worse before. Yeah, absolutely. But these are things that are piling up right now at Michigan.
But don't worry, Adam Schefter, Michigan grad, has told us we haven't yet heard Sharon Moore's side of the story.
Can't wait for this.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be something.
Yeah, I mean, it's
we haven't yet heard from Sharon Moore. That's because he's in a jail cell.
Yeah, it's because he's in handcuffs and he can't speak right now because. So did you not break into this woman's house? Did you not stalk her? Did you not threaten to kill her and yourself
with a butter knife?
So all of that's true. All right. I now I have the information that I need. I don't need to know anymore. Have we heard from Sharon Moore? No, I don't know that
anybody has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe his lawyer has.
His lawyer has. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably a not guilty plea.
I do have an update on Layla Kiffin and Lane. They may have reconciled their relationship.
Okay. I thought I heard that.
So
Lane says he found God.
There is hope, Sharon. 9 years from now, you and your wife, mother of your 3 children, can potentially reconcile your relationship.
If she wants that.
Yeah. I'd imagine she would.
What's Sharon Moore's life going to be like? Because at least with Lane Kiffin, and I'm not, again, excusing any of the things that he's alleged to do. As far as I know, he's never been arrested for stalking or threatening to kill someone.
That's a good call.
Yeah, as far as I know. Yeah.
As far as I know.
Yeah, I haven't quite C-capped them, but yeah.
Right. I don't know that they have that. I know they have that in Wisconsin, but I don't know if they have that nationally. Else. Yeah. So
I don't know.
If you ever listen, if you're ever curious about somebody in Wisconsin, just go right ahead and let your fingers do the walking through the old C-cap. It'll tell you all you need to know.
Oh yeah. So it's gonna be quite the C-cap for Sharon Moore once this all gets finalized.
I mean, it's like I said, it's just so messy, and you wonder what his future employment is ever going to look like, because I have to think, I mean, how much was he making as head coach in Michigan?
It was like $6 million.
Okay.
I think
he's never going to make anything close to that ever again.
Once all this, the legal troubles and whatnot are over for him, and if he tries to get back into coaching, I mean, he may end up kind of like Art Briles, where it's just kind of like exiled completely. No one's going to hire you. Or then maybe someone comes close to hiring you, then the public pressure is just going to be like, no. But I think Art Briles just landed at like a D2 school.
Yeah, that's the future.
But
for
it took
Sharon
him,
Moore.
10 years?
Yeah, that's the future for Sharon Moore. I think he's going to get another job. It's not going to ever be a head coach at an FBS school.
No.
But it might
he's
be
got to go
Division
D2.
II,
Yeah.
Division 2, Division 3, something like that. You go from making $6 million a year to now nothing, because he's being fired with cause, all because he couldn't keep it in his pants.
Yep.
Hope it was worth it.
It probably wasn't.
I can't imagine that it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was making a base of $500,000 to $550,000 annually, but his additional compensation, public appearances, radio shows, etc.
That's all baked in, though, too,
well
yeah.
past $5 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if
Okay.
you're-
Yeah. He's getting $500,000 in base salary and then $500,000 for a radio hit each week. Okay.
Well, it helps him. He was getting additional compensation for off-field duties. So what? I mean, maybe he was being compensated for his relationship.
Well,
I
that
do
sounds
not know
like
where this
prostitution.
money comes from. Well, and
Yeah.
maybe
Can
he
we have
make that
prostitution
money
to the
again.
charges for him then?
He's going to become very famous now. I mean, if he wasn't already famous, he's more famous now.
Well, he's more infamous.
non-football fans. Yeah, but
he's infamous.
Yeah,
but you can turn that into money once he gets out of the, wherever he is. He probably won't have to serve time. My guess is he won't have to.
Probably
serve time.
not. He'll probably, probation, things like
Yeah.
that. But to his reputation and to his future job prospects, it's not great. And I go back to, though, if you're Michigan and you knew, because this was, again, the worst kept secret, and there have been lawyers, according to some of the reports that I've been seeing, there have been lawyers that have been all through the athletic department since summertime. You could have done this months ago and gotten ahead of everyone when it came to searching for your next head coach. And I also think that they probably, when Harbaugh quit to go back to the NFL, I don't know, did they do a thorough search, or did they just say, you know what, you coached a few games when Harbaugh was suspended. Well, we'll just elevate you. Sometimes I wonder about these universities, especially the ones that can go out and get literally whoever you want to be your coach. You're University of Michigan. They made some questionable hires over the years.
Yeah, they really have. They've struggled with it. And there's apparently an investigation that happened that started mid-October when a tipster contacted the university. They opened an investigation, found no evidence to confirm the tip. Both Moore and the woman involved denied the relationship. Still, the university decided to hire an outside law firm to dig further into the matter.
You know what you hire? You hire a PI.
Yeah.
Do I have to do all the work for them?
Yeah. Have you guys not seen a TV show at
They were
all?
well aware. They were just getting through the season.
Why, though? It doesn't make any sense with all the coaches that have been fired this year in college football. If you're Michigan, wouldn't you want to get ahead of the game?
Yeah.
Well, maybe
if you're going to do it anyway.
Well,
they knew she wasn't going to do anything about it, and they could get away with it again next year. And then she ultimately broke it off and reported it, and
then they had to.
it.
But was
Right.
Sharon Moore that good of a coach that you needed to keep him?
Good enough.
Was he?
Trying to avoid a
They're a
scandal.
9-win team this year.
Yeah, they won a national championship 2 years ago.
So apparently, I found this report interesting from, again, Nicole Auerbach. Michigan had been alerted prior to Wednesday that Sharon Moore was dealing with mental health issues, yet Ward Manuel fired him alone with no HR rep and no security present.
Yikes, that probably wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, but how did that report get out there? That almost feels like someone's trying to get Ward Manuel too and get him out. Because I wonder about Ward Manuel's job security. Now they've been saying that he's going to stick around, but if that report gets put out there, I think someone's trying to get Ward Manuel gone too.
Maybe because the way that this is handled has been just an absolute cluster, you know what?
Oh, absolutely.
So Ward Manuel, how do you fire someone without HR in the room?
Yeah.
Or secure? Have you seen Sharon Moore? The guy's built like a brick
He's a larger gentleman than average, right?
And
I mean,
clearly
he's
with mental health issues. Clearly a little bit unstable and maybe violent.
Yeah. I wouldn't do that if I was him.
We do have some breaking TJ Watt news. JJ Watt, I hope all is well with him. TJ Watt has now undergone surgery yesterday, to repair a partially collapsed lung suffered Wednesday. JJ Watt reports it.
Well, I mean, he would know.
Yeah.
I think he might know.
I think his sources are good.
I also think
chances
that TJ's
are
season is over.
Well, they haven't ruled him out for Monday.
He is unlikely to play Monday night against the Dolphins.
Put it this way. If he comes back and plays at all after having surgery for a collapsed lung,
team doctor should be fired.
Well, yeah, maybe.
Well, how did it happen, right? It's yet to be ultimately unveiled.
Surgery for a collapsed lung. Listen, I'm no doctor. That seems like major surgery.
Yeah. The lung is somewhat important biologically.
Yeah.
Last I checked.
Yeah.
The lung is kind of important.
I mean, but you have
I hate to be that guy.
You do have
he
two
has
of
not
them.
been. He has not been the same guy this season. And if there's a way for the Steelers financially to get out of that contract,
I hate to be that guy, but I'm going to go ahead and be that guy.
I'm not going to be that guy, but I mean, it wouldn't be all bad. Love TJ. Incredible career. Hall of Famer. Outstanding Badger. You can't give him any more praise. But like from a football perspective, it's a business. Yeah, I would love to see him come back better than ever.
It depends on what was guaranteed to him in the signing bonus. And a lot of times those signing bonuses, they're paying you for what's still to come. But more often than not, when it's that big of a number and you've got, like you said, and you pointed out all the accolades, you're paying him for past performance.
Dry needling treatment session. He punctured lung. That's what happened.
Oh.
JJ is that I did not see initially in the report. It is here. JJ has said it himself about his brother TJ. That's the second time that's happened. To Rod Taylor, that happened pregame.
Interesting.
When 2020, when Justin Herbert was a rookie.
Is it
got
possible
thrust into
that,
the game?
Is it possible that they shouldn't do that anymore?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, if they keep puncturing lungs.
It's happened twice, maybe ever. And, obviously both in the last 5 football seasons or 6 football seasons. So I hear you. But if that's what TJ's been doing his whole career to get to the point where he is in the production he is, I think it's well worth the risk.
I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking.
I think the first one was Dr. David Chow, and then he was sub.
Yeah, about a nickel for every time someone got their lung punctured by this dry needling thing. I'd have 2 nickels.
What do they say?
Isn't a lot.
Fool me once, shame on me. Shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Puncture a lung once, shame on you. Puncture a lung twice, shame on me.
Yeah. So I'm just not going to get those treatments and save my own lungs. I mean, that's the decision I'm going to get out of this. That's my lesson.
But you, like TJ Watt, are an elite pass rusher.
Totally.
That's right.
So
totally. And we both make the same kind of income.
Absolutely.
Totally.
And worth every penny. All right. This is the Wishful Giving Radio Event presented by Kessler's Diamonds. Unwrap the power of a wish. Donate right now at radiowishes.com, or you can call 877-272-WISH. The number is on your screen. If you are watching us on the stream, on the video stream, if you're listening to us on the audio stream, it is an audio stream. So again, 877-272-WISH, or you can hit us up on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line, 877-794-1973. We haven't really spun through much of the talk and text line today, but if you donate $100, I don't know why I said it at $100. I just said it at $100.
Well, that's what the donation was for Melissa.
Sure.
I Want Hippopotamus for Christmas.
There you go. If you have a song request, we will play it in and out of a break. $100 straight to the kids. I don't ever want to see the cash. That's for Make-A-Wish. That's for those guys. It's not.
What
for
if they
us.
donate $1,000? What do they get?
Then you can program the rest of this of the day, as far as bumper music.
Program the rest. Oh, okay.
You can
bumper music. I got you.
Yeah, you can program the rest of this shows if you donate $1,000. If you can verify that you donated $1,000, if you can verify that, show me a receipt. You can black out your, credit card information or whatever. But if you can pick the bumper music for the rest of the show.
There we go.
$1,000, you get
10
bumps.
I didn't do the math, but that sounds about right.
Sure.
That sounds about right. We do have to take a bump right here, so it is a bump out. If you will. Boy, that came out wrong, didn't it?
Oh,
that was.
all right.
I mean, speak for yourself. I think I'm
Do we
okay.
need an extended commercial break?
That was. I'm amped up. I'm good to go. I don't need anything. That did come out wrong. I will say that. So a little slip of
Hopefully
the
it comes
tongue.
out right.
Unwrap the power of a wish. Good grief. We are going to hear the story coming up next of Julie and Seth. Dave Michaels did an interview about another Make-A-Wish wish that came true as we continue on our Wishful Giving Radio event. It's presented by Kessler's Diamonds. Also, Forrest Doolin is going to join us once again in about 20-ish minutes or so. He's going to give us an update as far as where we're all at with all of this and give us some more stories of the Make-A-Wish Foundation and why it's so important that we do days like what we're doing right now. It is D.N.D, Doug, Nick, and Dave. Stay with us on the Game Radio Network.
Ooh, girl, you're shining like a Fifth Avenue diamond, and they don't make you like they used to. You're never going out of style.
This is the Wishful Giving Radio Event, presented by Kessler's Diamonds. Donate now at radiowishes.com or by calling 877-272-WISH. That's 877-272-WISH or radiowishes.com. You are listening to D.N.D. with Doug, Nick, and Dave.
This pains me to say this, but Dave's right.
Hey, why does that pain you to say? I'm right quite a bit, I think.
Middays here on the Game. Packers, Broncos. Sunday at 3:25 in Denver.
I mean, I wouldn't say that they have no weaknesses or holes. I mean, I definitely think that there's, plays to be made. I mean, your playmakers got to make plays. We got to be solid in our game plan. And, I think that there are some ways that we can go out there and make plays. We just got to, execute and take what they give us.
Stay with D.N.D. all day as Doug, Nick, and Dave preview every angle of the contest here on the Game.
And now a look back at This Week in History on iHeartRadio.
This week in 1962, the New York City Board of Estimate unanimously votes against a plan for a $100 million elevated expressway across the bottom of Manhattan. The road, known as the Lower Manhattan Expressway, had been in the works since 1941. The commission behind the plan kept fighting for the highway until 1969, before New York Governor Nelson Rockefeller declared that Lower Manhattan was safe from the highway for good. This week in 1977, Saturday Night Fever, a pop culture juggernaut, had its world premiere at Mann's Chinese Theater in L.A. The music complemented the action in Saturday Night Fever as perfectly as if it were written for the movie, even though most of it wasn't. In fact, other than Stayin' Alive and Night Fever, every song that appeared in Saturday Night Fever had been written, recorded, and in some cases released before the film ever went into production. This week in the year 2000, General Motors declares that it will begin to phase out the 103-year-old Oldsmobile, the oldest automotive brand in the U.S. Olds cars were the first to have decorative chrome trim and the first to have fully automatic transmissions. But a GM reorganization in the mid-1980s had drained the brand of most of its unique identity. And also this week in the year 2000, Republican George W. Bush claimed the presidency a day after the U.S. Supreme Court shut down further recounts of disputed ballots in Florida. Democrat Al Gore conceded, delivering a call for national unity.
And that's what happened. Thanks for listening to This Week in History on iHeartRadio.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1969.
Low-budget film Easy Rider captures the public imagination with a soundtrack by Steppenwolf, the Byrds, and the Electric Prunes. The Woodstock Music and Art Fair is held August 15th through 18th on Max Yasgur's farm in Bethel. 32 of the biggest bands of the day played to a crowd estimated at 500,000. The event is later released as a movie and album. And with the boost from their appearance at Woodstock, San Francisco band Santana hits the top 10 with their debut album, Evil Ways. The festival undoubtedly immortalized Jimi Hendrix and ushered in the era of large rock concerts and arena rock bands. Also in October, Led Zeppelin have their only U.S. top 10 hit when Whole Lotta Love reaches number 4.
I'm gonna give you my love. I'm gonna give you my love. Oh, whole lot of love.
The Allman Brothers Band released their debut album on Capricorn Records to good reviews but limited sales. And 7 years after his last number one, Elvis Presley tops the charts with Suspicious Minds.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1969. Coming up.
We call it Wagertainment.
All right, place your bets. Place your bets.
VSiN every night at 6. Presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest on Fox Sports 920.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio. Soundtrack. Flashback.
Shaft hit theaters in 1971, and its soundtrack by Isaac Hayes grabbed a few Grammys and an Academy Award for Best Original Song, the theme from Shaft.
Who's the black private dick that's a sex machine to all the chicks? You're damn right.
For more great movie soundtrack hits, check out Popcorn Radio on the iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back in. It's D.N.D. Doug Russell, Nick Bruzewitz, Dave Gasper. The talk and text line. Let's see. Rancorp. Where did it happen? Oh, I missed it. Come on, man. We're literally haven't heard his side of the story talking about Sharon Moore. Yes, it's really messy, but maybe his life has some deep, miserable poo going on behind closed doors. Maybe not.
Well, it's going on behind open doors now.
Yeah, that doesn't excuse threatening someone else. Sorry. I mean, do I want to hear his side of the story? Sure. Still allegedly threaten someone else.
Yeah.
Enough
with
to
a
the
butter
point.
knife.
Well, listen. We've all seen Sharon Moore.
Yeah.
Guy's built like a brick house.
Yeah.
I would not do well in a fight against him. We'll put it that way. And you like have a girl that's a woman who's like probably half his weight. She probably wouldn't do very well either.
Probably not.
He was a tight ends coach. I think he played tight end at one point in his career. And he's a football player. He's a big guy, and I wouldn't mess with him. Keep him coming on the talk and text line. Again, 877-794-1973. This is our Wishful Giving Radio event. It is presented by Kessler's Diamonds. We will have another story coming up here in just a moment. The story of Julie and Seth. I do have and I just have submitted my 2026 Walk of Fame ballot.
Ooh, okay.
So there are some names on here that I'm still wondering why Brandon Kinsler's still on the list. Mike Fires is still on the list. Chris Davis is still on the list. But here's who I voted for this year.
Okay.
I voted for Ted Simmons.
Okay. Yes, certainly deserving.
Hall of Famer.
Yep.
82 Brewers wouldn't have happened without him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was a little stingier this year. Then I voted for Del Crandall.
Okay.
Not a Hall of Fame player, but really, really good player. All-star, consistent Brewers manager early on. I also voted for Fred Haney.
Okay.
Do people know who Fred Haney is?
I don't.
Okay. Here's your baseball education.
All right.
Fred Haney was the Milwaukee Braves manager when they won the 1957 World Series. He was the Braves manager from 1956 to 1959. Led the Milwaukee Braves to 2 World Series and never had a losing season in Milwaukee.
Sounds pretty good.
Wasn't there long, but he's also the only manager that has ever won a World Series in the state of Wisconsin. So I voted for Fred Haney, and I wrote in Doug Melvin.
Oh, yeah. Doug Melvin's not on there?
Nope.
Huh.
That is my vote. My ballot has been submitted. It is
Okay.
final. I did not. So in years past, I have voted for Craig Counsell. I'm like, we just need a little separation now.
Yeah, a little bit of time. There's no way to elect him right now.
No. I thought about George Bamberger. I may vote for him again at some point. Pete Vukovich was on there. He had one really good year when he got a Cy Young Award that he didn't deserve because Jim Palmer had a better season. Yeah, I'm good.
Pitching on a torn rotator cuff, though, in the World Series, I mean, that's toughness.
It is. But no, didn't get my vote this year. So Ted Simmons, Del Crandall, Fred Haney, and I wrote in Doug Melvin. Those are my votes. Those, submitted, done, locked.
I don't know what's taken Simmons so long to get in there. I don't know what took him so long to get into the Hall of Fame, but to get into the Brewers Walk of Fame, I mean, come on.
Way overdue. Way
overdue.
All right. This is the Wishful Giving Radio Event. It's presented by Kessler's Diamonds. Unwrap the power of a wish. Donate right now at radiowishes.com, or you can call 877-272-WISH. Unwrap the power of a wish. Become a Wish Club or Diamond Club member now at radiowishes.com, or you can call 877-272-WISH. You can become a Wish Club member for $20 a month or by donating $240 or more. When you become a Wish Club member, you get a royal blue quartz and gold-filled beaded stretch bracelet with a Wish charm, $75 value. That's courtesy of Kessler's Diamonds. Or you can become a Kessler's Diamond Club member by donating $1,000 or more. You get the bracelet plus a $500 Kessler Splurge card, which will be mailed to you after the event. More importantly, you're helping these kids. We want to thank our silver sponsor, Habish, Habish & Rotier, also sponsors Carmex and Design Air. And throughout the event, every donation that you make will be matched by the Dina Hatch Foundation up to $10,000. Our friend down the hallway, Dave Michaels, he caught up with two more folks that are in the Make-A-Wish of Wisconsin family, Julie and Seth.
During this Wishful Giving Radio event, I'm witnessing, I hope that you're hearing, the transformative power of a wish fulfilled. To speak directly to that, we welcome both Julie and Seth, who join me from Bristol, Wisconsin today. Happy holidays.
Hey
Merry
guys.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
Merry
Exciting
Christmas.
to be here.
Seth, tell me a little bit about the very rare autoimmune disease that you were diagnosed with.
Actually, my mom knows more than what I know about it. She's actually knows more about it than I do. So you can actually explain it more.
Yeah. So just after his 7th birthday, Seth developed some very bizarre physical symptoms. Our first doctor said, "Oh, it's probably a harmless rash, and don't worry about it." It just basically, long story short, it turned into 10 months of pursuing answers and watching the destruction of this disease.
Which was what, by the way?
Most doctors would never see a case like this. We don't have a name. We certainly don't have a prognosis or a cure. And it's experimental medicine at its best. But if you do nothing, he will die.
And the he is your son.
Yeah. Pretty soon we were just taking boatloads of medications and injections. And I mean, for someone who rarely took Tylenol, I mean, we couldn't believe what they were prescribing. And I refused at all costs, like, no, he's 8 years old. No. And they said, this either has to happen, or the alternative is you watch him waste away. And that is how it all started. So money's at a minimum. Vacations are a luxury. Time spent together, not an option when you're going out of state to the hospital. Leaving those 6 other children, tearing my heart out. We got to experience Seth's wish. And I will let Seth explain what that was.
My wish was, my dream was to go into somewhere in a motorhome with my family. I went to the Grand Canyon in a motorhome with my whole family.
That's what Make-A-Wish Wisconsin does.
Mhm.
It doesn't
Mhm.
just provide a vacation or a road trip to the Grand Canyon. Make-A-Wish Wisconsin was able to provide for you, Seth, and your entire family a week to 10 days of no stress And more importantly, smiles.
Yes, absolutely.
Seth and his mom, Julie, here from Bristol, Wisconsin, talking about his experience with Make-A-Wish Wisconsin during the annual Wish Giving Radio Event. And what's your message to those who maybe have never donated before?
Put yourself in this position. Your child was just diagnosed. Your world is turned upside down because we're one phone call away from devastation, right? I'm not trying to be a downer here, but one day we were living the dream with 7 healthy kids, and the next, my son's fighting for his life. And when someone can maybe give some resources, especially this time of year, the impact of Make-A-Wish is so vast because it's looking forward to that wish. It's experiencing the wish. It's looking back on the wish. And none of us are guaranteed it tomorrow.
You're giving smiles and taking away stress, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
RadioWishes.com is where I would encourage you to go today. RadioWishes.com or call 877-272-WISH. 877-272-9474. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Dave. There he is. Dave Michaels, the story of Seth and his mom, Julie. And again, unwrap the power of a wish. Donate right now at RadioWishes.com. RadioWishes.com or call 877-272-WISH. And you can become a Wish Club member for $20 a month. You become a Kessler's Diamond Club member by donating $1,000 or more. You get $500 back from Kessler's in the form of a splurge card that'll be mailed to you after the event is over. Also, our silver sponsors, Habish, and Rotier. And we want to thank Carmex and Design Air as well. And throughout the event, every donation will be matched by the Dina Hatch Foundation of up to $10,000. So we love hearing these stories. We've got another one coming up. We will hear the story of Talia and Heidi in our final hour of the program. And we'll also hear from Forrest Doolin. He's going to drop by from Make-A-Wish. He does such incredible work with trying to coordinate all of these families and trying to tell their stories. And it's such important work that they do. And we'll hear from him coming up in just a few minutes as well. But everyone who has donated so far, I'm grateful. The kids, more importantly, they're so grateful for that as well, because this is, listen, if you don't know what to get someone, you can donate in their name as well. And I think that that's just the gift that keeps on giving. And it's also a gift that really kind of encompasses what the spirit of the season is all about. All right, Forrest is coming up in just a couple minutes. And coming up in the next hour, we will have Brandon Cristal. He'll be our eye on the enemy. He covers the Denver Broncos as the Packers get set to take on the Broncos. They'll travel to Denver tomorrow. Weather's supposed to be really nice. Brian Pozik's going out there. He's going to watch the game. He's going to be a fan for once in watching the game because he's got the weekend off. But Brandon Cristal, he's going to be joining us in about an hour or so as well. Stay with us. Doug Russell, Nick Bruzewitz, and Dave Gasper, collectively D.N.D. on the game.
Ones who love you in the place you left. I hope you always forgive and you never regret and you help some.
Donate right now to Make-A-Wish during our Wishful Giving Radio Event, presented by Kessler's Diamonds. Go to RadioWishes.com or call 877-272-WISH. That's 877-272-WISH or RadioWishes.com. Stay tuned.
Yes.
D.N.D. will be back in just a moment.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1970.
Don't keep me waiting here. Leave me to
The Beatles released the Phil Spector-produced album Let It Be. It generates 3 number-1 hits, Get Back, Let It Be, and their final number 1, The Long and Winding Road. The Kinks' song Lola, about a romantic encounter with a transvestite, makes number 2 UK and number 9 US. In July, the Stooges released their second album on Elektra Records, Fun House, and British band Mungo Jerry are number 1 in the UK, number 3 in the US with the single In the Summertime.
have a drink, have a try. Go out and see what you can find.
In August, Eric Clapton releases his first solo album and scores a top 20 hit with his cover of J.J. Cale's After Midnight. Neil Diamond scores his first number 1 with Cracklin' Rosie. September of 1970, Neil Young has a top 10 album with After the Gold Rush. War, an anti-war protest song by Edwin Starr, tops the charts.
What is it good for? You tell me. Say it.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1970. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1978.
In January of 1978, the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack is released featuring the music of the Bee Gees. It hits number one in the U.S. for more than 6 months. An amazing 18 weeks at number one in the UK, it becomes the best-selling soundtrack album of all time. In February of 78, Pasadena, California hard rock band Van Halen released their self-titled debut album. It hits number 19 on the charts. Their cover of The Kinks' You Really Got Me cracks the top 40 at number 36. In March, the Patti Smith Group released their third album, Easter. It goes to number 20. Their single, Because the Night, goes to number 13. It was co-written with Bruce Springsteen. In May of 78, Detroit rock singer Bob Seger releases his 10th album, Stranger in Town. It goes to number 4 in the U.S., yielding 3 top 20 singles, including Still the Same, which also goes to number 4.
Are you still the same?
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1978. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1968.
California's Creedence Clearwater Revival released their debut LP, which contains the number 11 single, Susie Q. And in August, American band Tommy James and the Shondells have a number one hit in the UK with Moni Moni. It goes to number 8 in the US. And the Doors have their first number one album and their second and last number one single with Hello, I Love You.
When she moves, my brain screams out this song.
In November of 68, Van Morrison releases his second solo album, Astral Weeks, and Joe Cocker has a UK number one with his cover of the Beatles with A Little Help from My Friends. And in December, Motown holds the top spot with number one hits from Marvin Gaye, I Heard It Through the Grapevine, and the Supremes with Love Child. The Beatles released their first single on their own Apple label, Hey Jude, back with Revolution. The over 7-minute song went to number one in the US and the UK.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1968. Coming up.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Neil Sean of Journey to ask what the last several years have been like for him creatively.
Well, you know what? I feel kind of reborn. Ever since, I got sober, like things have been really coming together for me in every way, in every sense of the word. It's like my playing, I feel like I'm excelling. I'm very ambitious, I'm very creative. I have like a little jam studio downstairs in my house, and I sit in there for at least a couple hours to 3 hours a day and jamming with loops and all kinds of stuff just to keep, my chops up. And it's been really, really great for my playing.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Neil Sean and all your favorite artists.
I'm playing on you tonight, hunt you down, eat you alive, just like animals, like animals most. And maybe you think that you can hide.
All right, D.N.D. continues. Doug Russell, Nick Bruzewitz, Dave Gasper here on Friday, December 12th, 2025. And as we've been telling you for the last couple of days, this is our Wishful Giving Radio Event presented by Kessler's Diamonds. If you are watching us on the stream, the phone number and website, they are on your screen. If you're just listening without a video component, that makes it a little bit difficult. So here's the phone number. It's 877-272-WISH. You can also donate right now at radiowishes.com. Forrest Doolin from Make-A-Wish, Wisconsin, in studio with us once again. Okay, so this is day number 2. How are we doing?
We're doing well.
We need to turn up, Forrest. There we go.
We're doing well.
There we go.
We've still got a little ways to go for our goal. So I mean, we've got about 50,000 left to raise this afternoon, which is a big number. I get it, but at the same time, 50,000. That's 50 Diamond Club members. Or if someone wants to, double their Diamond, give 2,000. That's 25. 2,000. So there's lots of ways to slice it up. So, but it's, you know what? all of that is going to help make these wishes come true. We're granting 35 wishes just this month alone, leading into the end of the year. But we have 437 wishes that we are shooting to grant this year, and about 400 wishes are currently in our pipeline. So,
and I don't have much to sell, but I can sell bumper music. So if anyone wants to donate, pony up $100. You can have one bumper in and out. And I also said if you donate $1,000, you can do the rest of the show. So we've only got an hour left in the show. So
there you go.
You might want to get on that. So again, we've heard so many powerful stories of the wishes that have been granted, but for those that have kind of parachuted in and out, as you know, folks do over the course of a couple of days of a radio show, the importance of what these wishes do, and it's for the child, yes, that's going through the terrible maladies that we've heard so much about in the last couple of days as well, but also the families, mom and dad. It's just everybody just honestly needs a break as much as anything else.
Yeah. I mean, these families, when they're going through this, when you've got a child who's living with a critical illness, your family's torn apart. I mean, in so many different ways. Relationally, I mean, oftentimes mom or dad are at the hospital with the child who's sick. The other parent is with the other siblings and also still oftentimes working and trying to balance all that stuff. Grandparents, whoever else is helping in their community to kind of help care for everybody. And they're also, things are torn about financially, all these hospital bills and all of the costs involved with the medical care. Even with really good insurance, there's still a lot of cost involved for these families. And not to mention, they're isolated, right? They oftentimes can't go anywhere. They a lot of times are very careful not to see anybody, like they can't have friends over. Because they're being really careful because the child is immunocompromised because of their condition. And so there's just all of these different things that are pulling at these families and kind of pulling them apart. And when Make-A-Wish comes in, so many times we hear this, that we finally got to be a family. We got to be a normal family again. We got to see our kids smile. We got to see our kids happy for the first time in years, in certain instances. I mean, it makes such a significant difference on the whole family. And and we've had there have been stories of legitimate stories of, it didn't happen here in Wisconsin, but in another Make-A-Wish chapter where parents had been divorced, which isn't, again, critical illness. It is so intense.
Puts such a strain on everything.
Puts a strain on everything. And the wish brought the family back together, and the parents ended up getting reunited and got remarried. And so, I mean, that's the power of what we're talking about. This is big impact, and it's not even just limited to the family. It's really to the whole community, because everyone that gets involved, the neighbors, the family members, the wish granters, the donors, everyone that's involved. I mean, it really impacts everybody's lives, because you're making this significant difference. I mean, we're all interconnected, right? It's that human connection and knowing that we're making a difference in the lives of these kids and these families, and it impacts your own life.
Giving feels good. It just feels good. We heard the story of Logan and Melissa in the last hour, and Melissa was telling the story. As great as Children's Hospital of Wisconsin is, sometimes they don't have the resources or the specialists that, say, the Mayo Clinic does. And specifically, she was with Logan and the rest of the family was back here. And it was like, it's only a state away in Minnesota, but that's, a 6-hour drive from southeastern Wisconsin. It's so difficult to, just kind of bridge that gap. And when they were able to go to Disney World, they were just able to, reconnect as a family. And, those things are just, you can put a price tag on it, and that's kind of what we're doing here, but you can't put a price tag on it in that human sense that you're talking about.
And I mean, the medical community knows the impact of these wishes, right? I mean,
they get prescribed.
They do. Doctors will prescribe a wish because they know the difference that it's going to make in these kids' lives, because it just kind of changes their mindset. It impacts them emotionally, mentally, and really that a lot of times can become a turning point physically for these kids in the midst of their treatment and in the midst of whatever it is they're dealing with. And, doctors will say, sometimes I can't really I can't change the diagnosis. I can't give a lot of hope with my information, but I can give hope through a wish.
We only have about a minute left, but you, when we were in yesterday, saw the big picture that we have of Bob Euchre over in the corner. He was great with you guys.
Bob was an amazing Make-A-Wish champion for many years. It all started when he granted a wish when he was on Mr. Belvedere, and he was hooked, and he held a fishing tournament for many years that benefited Make-A-Wish.
Yep.
And every time he had a wish kid in his booth out at Miller Park or American Family Field, he just gave these kids a delightful experience. He was so good with each and every one of them.
And everybody had such a great time at the fishing tournament. I had a chance to be a part of that fishing tournament a couple of times over the years as well. And it was just, the impact that, Bob has on everyone else. But I mean, these kids who just love baseball and love listening to Bob. So those are things that we miss about Bob. But the work continues on. You guys do amazing work. Thank you for all that you do for our community. Thank you for all that you do for, just bringing some life and light into these kids and these families' lives. You guys do amazing, amazing work.
Thank you.
All right. That's Forrest Doolin from Make-A-Wish. Again, keep it coming. This is the Wishful Giving Radio Event. It's presented by Kessler's Diamonds. Donate right now at radiowishes.com or call 877-272-WISH. Final hour of D.N.D. is coming up straight after this. Stay with us.
My wish for you is that this life become.
To donate to Make-A-Wish and give families the experience of a lifetime, go to radiowishes.com or call 877-272-WISH. That's 877-272-WISH or radiowishes.com. Want to watch D.N.D? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
There you go.
There we go.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
Should I stay or should I go?
Will Giannis stay or will Giannis go?
Giannis has not gone up and said, I want to be traded. Giannis has just expressed frustration, and his agent has had to be sort of the guy behind the scenes that has talked about stuff. And so I understand that what people want is, does he want to be traded or not? It's a simple yes or no question that doesn't have a simple answer because he's elected to try to go through the process without having a firm decision. He's just not thrilled with where they are, but he doesn't know if he wants to go forward.
We're talking about the latest news on the situation here on The Game.
Well, come on and let me know. Should I stay or should I go?
Looking back at the world of sports, it's the iHeartRadio Weekend Sports Time Capsule.
What's going on, fellow sports fans? It's Andy West, and I'm here to take you on a journey back to this week in sports history. We'll start off back in 1930. The Baseball Rules Committee revises the rule book. Now when a ball bounces into the stands, it's a double, not a home run. This week in 1951, Joe DiMaggio announces his retirement from baseball. He helped the Yankees win 9 World Series titles.
Play ball!
This week in 1956, the Dodgers trade Jackie Robinson to the Giants for pitcher Dick Littlefield and $35,000. Robinson would retire rather than be traded. This week in 1983, Detroit beats Denver 186-184 in triple overtime in the highest scoring game in NBA history. Isaiah Thomas scores 47 and John Long adds 41 for the Pistons. Denver's Kiki Vanderway had 51. This week in 1997, Michigan's Charles Woodson is the first defensive player to receive the Heisman Trophy in the 63 years of the award. Woodson and the Wolverines would go on to defeat Washington State in the 1998 Rose Bowl, finishing a perfect 12-0 season and earning a share of the national championship. And this week in 2017, Ben Roethlisberger completes 44 of a franchise record 66 passes for 506 yards, becoming the first quarterback in NFL history to top 500 yards passing 3 times in leading the Steelers past Baltimore 39-38.
And that's just some of what happened this week in sports history. The Weekend Sports Time Capsule on iHeartRadio. Looking back at the world of sports, it's the iHeartRadio Weekend Sports Time Capsule.
What's happening, fellow sports fans? It's Andy West, and I'm here to take you on a journey back to this week in sports history. We'll start off in 1968. Arthur Ashe becomes the first African-American to be ranked number 1 in tennis. Also this week in 1968, Bobby Orr, who scored 10 hat tricks during his 12 seasons in the NHL, has his first career hat trick in his third season in the league. More than 50 hats were tossed on the ice in celebration. This week in 1983 was the last NFL game played at Shea Stadium in New York. The Steelers beat the Jets 34-7. This week in 1992, the National Hockey League votes unanimously to expand to Anaheim, California, approving a new team, the Mighty Ducks. This week in 2006, Marvin Harrison of the Indianapolis Colts is the fourth player in NFL history with 1,000 receptions, joining Jerry Rice, Tim Brown, and Chris Carter. This week in 2010, Minnesota quarterback Brett Favre, at age 41, is sidelined by a throwing shoulder too damaged for even him to overcome. The injury ends one of the greatest individual streaks in all of sports. Favre had made 297 consecutive starts over 19 seasons. And this week in 2015, the Golden State Warriors need 2 overtimes to remain perfect on a very imperfect night and improve to 24-0 to start the season by outlasting the Boston Celtics 124-119. They would lose their next game.
And that's just some of what happened this week in sports history. The Weekend Sports Time Capsule on iHeartRadio.
It's July 1973. In the month that Afghanistan's King Zahir Shah is deposed in a military coup, reports of a secret White House taping system surface during the Watergate hearings. Nolan Ryan of the Angels tosses his second no-hitter of the season. And 600,000 fans attend a mammoth rock festival at the Watkins Glen Racetrack in New York State. Seals and Crofts hit the top 10 in July of 73 with Diamond Girl. Jim Seals remembers.
Diamond Girl, I think, was an effort on our part to express not only to our wives, our love. Sometimes saying I love you is difficult for some people to say, and especially for guys, I think. This is one of the keys to the success of the song, is that it says I love you in a different way.
Diamond Girl, roaming wild, such a rare thing.
Listen to us live 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app and watch our shows each weekday on YouTube, Facebook, and X. We are the game.
All right, final hour underway.
One more time.
Final hour of the week here on D.N.D. Doug, Nick, and Dave.
Yeah.
For Drew and Hunter, take over at the top of the hour.
Let's do it one more time. One more hour.
One more time. One more hour. I think Dobie's going to be in again today.
All right. That'll be fun.
Yeah, Dobie's always fun. We always love Dobie.
Oh, yeah. Jokes will be flying.
Asian Chris Solani just let us know that he donated $100 on the NickLaidlaw.com talk and text line. So you can choose a bumper music for the next segment that we've got. Coming up later on in this hour, Guerrilla Sports host Brandon Cristal will join us. He covers the Denver Broncos, has for a long time. Right now, they are 11-2. They are the number 1 seed in the AFC playoffs. And that's who the Packers face on Sunday, 3:25 kickoff on the Packers Radio Network. But before we go any further, as we do at 1 o'clock-ish, every day, Monday through Friday, we turn things over to yesterday's birthday boy, the one, the only, the always effervescent Nick Bruiserwitz and Bruiser's Bites.
Time now for Bruiser's Bites.
Yes, sir. It's time for Bruiser's Bites. I appreciate all the well wishes yesterday as I crossed the quarter century mark, in my life. Not quite the century mark. Maybe I'll make it. 75 years to go.
A lot of medical advancements
right
that can
around
happen
the corner.
There.
Yeah, of course.
Just don't get your lung punctured by the Steelers team doctor.
Yeah.
I don't know if I will ever be in need of dry needling, though. I mean, you hear a lot of good stuff about it. Anyway, you hear great stuff about Wisconsin Concrete Coatings. They do a great job because they'll do your garage floor, your garage cabinetry, your outdoor deck patio, your basement flooring, really anything that's concrete. They can probably coat it with their polyurea coating and make it that much nicer. So visit them at wiconcretecoatings.com. That's wiconcretecoatings.com. I wish they could put some concrete coating on Josh Jacobs' knee because it's been bothering him for a long, long time. And this week, he misses the first 2 practices. And this is what he had to say about his knee issue ahead of Denver on Sunday.
I think it's one of those things where just running or standing too long, it kind of just swelling and things like that. It gets a little stiff on me. That's really it.
What's the biggest hurdle right now?
Just the range of motion. Whenever you get, swelling in your joints and everything like that, it just gets really stiff. I came out clean pretty much last week, didn't get hit on it or anything like that, but it kind of bloomed up on me a little bit. So, yeah, they just been letting me, work through that.
Do you guys worry about the Packers if he's unable to go? Emmanuel Wilson had a hell of a game filling in, but that was against the Vikings. This is the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, the Broncos are a really stout defensive team. Do I worry about the Packers without Josh Jacobs? Yeah, I worry about the Packers with Josh Jacobs against Denver. Denver's a legit defense. They're a great team. They're 11-2. They're okay offensively, but they're really good defensively. So, and I like Emmanuel Wilson. I think he's done a fine job every time he's gotten the opportunity. And he's had some opportunities this year, but in short, am I concerned about the Packers without him? Yeah.
Yeah, I think you got to be concerned when your top tailback there is, dealing with an injury, especially a knee. I mean, that's something that you got to worry about. So, how are they going to be able to handle if they have to go without him? I mean, I do like Emmanuel Wilson, Chris Brooks. I mean, we'll see what they can end up putting together. But you certainly would rather have him out there, and you feel much better about your chances because the Broncos are good. They have a great record. They've been playing well all season. So if you're going to be able to beat the best, you got to be at your best, and they're at their best when they have Josh Jacobs.
Jacobs back out there at practice today. We'll get the injury report in the coming hours, determining his game status and what his status at today's practice was. But I'd anticipate a limited participation and a questionable tag, but time will tell. There,
probably
questionable.
Fair. Yeah,
is questionable is one way to describe Pat McAfee on his program yesterday, questioning what exactly Mike McCarthy was talking about. Here is McCarthy talking about an NFC North quarterback.
Frankly, I wouldn't be too hard on Cleve because he's different.
Who?
He makes Cleve Williams.
It's Caleb.
Or,
I mean,
Caleb.
You're nowhere near.
Okay, you've never made a mistake. I knew what you're talking about. We knew what you're talking about. I was just giving you an opportunity to interrupt you. I love it when you
Khalib Williams.
Khalib.
Khalib.
Yeah. Okay.
He's been watching too many Key and Peele skits.
It's not even spelled that way. I mean, maybe.
Yeah. If you have the long E sound, and the short A sound, Khalib
Williams.
Yeah, that is definitely a Key and Peele substitute teacher.
A Ron.
And it's not like Mike's been away from the sport for a long time. I mean, he was a head coach last year.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Khalib Williams.
Uh-huh.
All right. All this to say, would he have more aura if his name was Khalib?
Ooh.
Would you look at him and say, guy?
Can I ask my niece that question? Because
that's a question for your niece for sure.
She's the one who keeps, I would say keeps me young, but she doesn't do a very good job of that. But she lets me know what the kids are talking about. So
Caleb feels like a 9-year-old to me. I'm sorry.
But Khalib, would he have more aura? I mean,
Khalib, Grammy-winning artist.
It's Khalid, I think, with a D.
Close enough.
DJ Khaled?
That's a different guy, too.
Yeah.
Bless up. I say yes.
Another one.
I say yes. He would have more aura. I'm going to go all Gen Z on you. He's going to have more aura if he was Khalid. Maybe you should consider it.
Maybe he should. Yeah. I think having that name may make it a little bit more aura-filled, but Khalid. I don't know how you get there from that, but hey, Mike McCarthy.
I used to do a weekly hit with Mike McCarthy back in the day, and one time it wasn't all sports.
Yeah.
It was
Caleb's not that uncommon of a name.
So me and my co-hosts, we were bouncing around the room, and the subject of cookies came up, and one of my co-hosts asked Mike McCarthy, "What's your favorite cookie?" I'm going to ask you, both of you, right now. Dave, what's your favorite cookie?
Chocolate chip.
Nick, what's your favorite cookie?
Snickerdoodle.
Okay, so those are easy answers. I go with chocolate chip. I'm with Dave on this one. Mike McCarthy was absolutely flummoxed by the question. What do you mean? What's your favorite cookie? I don't know. Jessica, my wife, she has a cookie. She put, I don't know. She puts there's one that she has it. I think she sprinkles some. What is it? Maybe I don't know. Some sugar maybe on it. Like a
sugar
sugar cookie coach. I guess. I mean, what do you mean by cookie? I mean, what do you mean? What do I mean by cookie?
Yeah,
chocolate
cookie,
chocolate chip, Oreo,
peanut butter,
snickerdoodle, oatmeal raisin. Not a hard question.
If anyone chooses oatmeal raisin, I question some of their life
absolutely
decisions.
flummoxed by the question.
I like oatmeal raisin. Big fan.
Yeah,
I almost
but it's
said
not
it
your
just now.
favorite though.
I
almost just said it right now. I was maybe more bashful. I was nervous about what you just did. If I would have said it, you would have done that to me. No.
Yeah.
I like
so I said
oatmeal
something
raisin
more likable.
if I know it's oatmeal raisin. Don't lure me in by me thinking that it's going to be a chocolate chip cookie and I bite into it and it's oatmeal raisin. If I think it's a chocolate chip cookie and I bite into it and it's oatmeal raisin, I might as well be just drinking vinegar.
Yeah.
I need to be prepared.
Throw the
for
tray just across the floor. It's
So-
like, no, what is this?
If he went by Cal Williams,
No, Cal's
No.
like a 50-year-old dude. I know
Yeah.
a Cal. I went to high school with a Cal.
Yeah, like Cal McNair, who got left hanging by C.J. Stroud.
Cal McClish, former Brewers
Yeah.
pitching coach.
Cal Eldred,
Former Brewers
Brewer.
pitcher.
Yeah.
maybe he went by Leb Williams.
No, then he's a musician.
Yeah. He definitely plays the bass guitar.
I was going to go with harpsichord, but
Okay, yeah.
yeah, he might be multi-instrumental.
Oh, gotta be. With a name like Leb, he definitely can play any instrument.
Yeah.
Well, talking about musicians, maybe Todd Bowles has a rap future.
It's inexcusable. You don't make excuses. You gotta care enough where the shit hurts. You gotta care enough where the shit hurts. It gotta mean something to you. It's more than a job. It's your livelihood. How well do you know your job? How well can you do your job? Well, you can't sugarcoat that. It was inexcusable, and there's no answer for it. There's no excuse for it. That's what you tell them in the locker room. Look in the mirror.
10.
Yeah. My question for you, as we already touched on it earlier, would be, or do you dislike this raw, unfiltered version of a head coach that's supposed to represent your brand?
After a while, curse words lose their meaning. After a while, they lose their effect. And that goes across. I probably need to have my mouth washed out with soap more than anybody. So I fully am aware of the fact that I do this too. So it's do as I say, not as I do. But anytime, like here, I'll give you an example. Taylor Swift, she started dropping all these, F-bombs in her songs. It's her right to do. I'm not offended by it or anything like that. But her lyrics, her lyricism, I think suffers because of it, because there's better ways of using language. I don't mind the raw, I guess, emotion of it, but when you drop 10 of them in, how long was that soundbite? 15 seconds?
It's 27 seconds.
All right, 27 seconds. Math is hard. 27 seconds. And it just loses its effectiveness. If you pick your spots, sure, then those words have impact. But if you don't, and it's every other word, then they just lose all meaning and they lose all effectiveness. So
yeah. Yeah, the sentence enhancers can only enhance the sentences so much. That's a SpongeBob reference, by the way.
It's like
when they did an episode about swearing, which was fantastic.
Nice. But I've had two basketball coaches. One basketball coach, he was always kicking over because we sucked. He was always kicking over stuff in the locker room. And I had another coach who was just very mild-mannered, who did it once. Let me tell you which one was more effective. It was the guy who did it once.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, Coach Joe Mock's pissed off.
Yeah. That's when you got to fix it. But when it's every single time, it's just like, okay, we don't need this much.
Yeah. Here we go again.
But yeah. So maybe it'll be the kick that the Buccaneers need in order to get themselves back on track. But they fall into second place in the NFC South. So you got to do something. And I don't know if Todd Bowles is normally like this with his team. But, if he's like, your other mild-mannered coach where he just kind of keeps it calm, cool, collected, and then he has this blow up, maybe it will be effective.
Well, talking about effective, the Packers broadcast booth, Wayne Larrivee and Larry McCarron.
Oh, hey, we know that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Of Awful Announcing, which is a outlet which started with blunders and poor announcing and poor reporting, and they making that come to light. They're now a little bit more of a resource for all things.
A little more mainstream, yeah.
Yeah.
they did a poll and they sent out ballots to like 3,500 readers. And of the 137 ballots that were received from Packers fans, 68 of them were A's, giving Wayne and Larry the highest score of all 32 broadcast booths. Many comments focused on lauding Larrivee, who has been on the call for these Packers broadcasts since 1999, following previous work for the Chiefs and Bears. Some lines included, still has his fastball, and I'd call him the best overall local announcer in the NFL. Top notch, a top-tier play-by-play man who hits the big moments so well and brings both passion and poise with how he calls the game. Some people didn't love Larry, but that's why they're number one, because Wayne carries the team and Larry's still great.
Love it.
Any surprise?
No,
none at all.
Listen, I've little as we've demonstrated, I'm a little bit older than you guys, and I've heard of probably a few more play-by-play announcers over the years than you guys. And I worked with Jim Irwin, and I love Jim Irwin. Jim Irwin was great, but Wayne Larrivee just took it to another level. Not a knock on Jim. I don't want anybody to misconstrue what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Wayne just took it to. I mean, if Jim was right here, Wayne just took it to a different level. He's so good. He's still so good. He studies this game. He's smart about the players. He knows the ins and outs. I want Wayne to do this as long as he wants to do it, because as one of the voters said, the guy has not lost his fastball at all. And he elevates when you need to elevate, and he still has passion for it. And it's been my honor to work with him for as long as I have.
Yeah, and it's kind of similar, like him and Jim Irwin, I think, to maybe Bob Harlan and then Mark Murphy. Where it's like, look, Bob Harlan, fantastic, nothing against him, but Mark Murphy advanced on what Bob Harlan built. Something like that. To that effect. But yeah, just absolutely fantastic. Has not lost his fastball like we've seen some other announcers, perhaps the Thursday night announcer, do.
Yeah, Al had a rough night last night.
Yeah. Yeah. The fastball is definitely gone. His fastball is more like
He's
my
lost some
fastball
velocity
speed.
on it.
Yeah. I mean, and listen, Al is going to go down as one of the
greatest of all time.
I think he's a Mount Rushmore all-time sports announcer. And that means top 4 of everyone who's ever called a game.
Yeah.
Might be time to ride off into the sunset.
It might be. Yeah.
Still can't get over Caleb Williams. Come on. In video game news, beginning tomorrow, Kim Kardashian is in Fortnite.
Oh, God. We're getting Kim Kardashian in Fortnite before we get Grand Theft Auto 6. Are we serious?
The very famous magazine cover where she has the glass balancing on her rear will not be depicted directly in the game. Instead, she is balancing the wine glass on her foot. So the pose is still in the game. So children will be able to wear their Fortnite skins of Kim Kardashian. I think I saw one yesterday that was like me and my squad teaming up, and it was all these dudes, but their characters were Kim Kardashian, Sabrina Carpenter, Ariana Grande, maybe Dua Lipa. I don't remember which the last one was, but yes, we have reached the point where Kim Kardashian is officially in Fortnite. And we'll end with some actual sports news. Yesterday, the Bucks win 116-101 over the Celtics. This is Kevin Porter Jr. on what the team and we can take away from yesterday's victory.
It felt like you can feel the energy with the ball. Everyone touched it. Everyone trusted one another. And I think when we were able to trust one another, especially on the defensive end, we can pick up the ball more because we know we got that man on the back end. And offensively, we can trust, if we're open, we're going to pass and make that extra read. And I think tonight displayed that.
All right, what do you take away from that win? I mean, it's the NBA. Any team can win on a given night.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Bucks, we heard from Doc earlier. You hear from KPJ. They played a form of basketball that I think they can be proud of.
They played a really good second half. And oftentimes we've seen them lose a game in the first 3 minutes of, the third quarter. And they didn't do that last night. They play, as Doc was talking about, the spacing was better. It's like, well, you know how to do this. Now you've got to go out and replicate that. And when they get out of their games, I just wonder, how does that happen? Again, as we were talking about earlier in the show, I understand sometimes your shots aren't going to fall. Sometimes you're going to be cold. Sometimes you're just going to come out a little bit flatter than you can. But what you can control are the controllables. And that's game plan and that's scheme. You can control those things. It doesn't mean you're going to not get beaten. There are going to be other teams that just out-talent you. That's part of the game too. but just knowing how to scheme as well as you can, it gives yourself a chance to win the game. And that's what we saw.
Yeah, and that's what they need, especially if they're going to try and tread water and stay afloat here without Giannis for another couple of weeks, because you're right on that fringe there in terms of being on the back end of the play-in tournament for the playoffs. So you still got a lot of time left in the regular season to be able to turn things around and get better, but you've got to be able to tread water. You've got to be able to, as you mentioned, Doug, game plan better, scheme better, have the better spacing, and just work on those basic fundamentals. And when you have those in place, you're going to keep yourself in a lot of ball games rather than getting blown out by 30.
That brings to a close our Bruisers Bites for today, brought to you always by Wisconsin Concrete Coatings, wiconcretecoatings.com. Once again, wiconcretecoatings.com. And if you're looking to visit websites, visit radiowishes.com as well.
Yeah, Radio Wishes. This is the Wishful Giving Radio Event presented by Kessler's Diamonds. Unwrap the power of a wish. Donate right now at radiowishes.com or call 877-272-WISH. And we've got our bumper music coming back in the next segment.
Yep.
To start. All right, we will hit that coming up straight ahead. Also, Brandon Cristal, our eye on the enemy, will join us. He covers the Broncos. We'll have another wish story coming up straight ahead. We will hear the story of Talia and Heidi as we continue on this Wishful Giving Radio Event presented by Kessler's Diamonds. Also, Hebish and Rotier, Carmex, and Design Air. And every donation is matched by the Dina Hatch Foundation of up to $10,000. It's D.N.D. Stay with us on the game.
Oh yeah, all right, stop the dancing. One more time, we're gonna celebrate.
Today is the final day of our annual Wishful Giving Radio Event presented by Kessler's Diamonds. Hear incredible stories of how Make-A-Wish has impacted the lives of so many incredible families in our area. Donate now at radiowishes.com or by calling 877-272-WISH. That's 877-272-WISH or radiowishes.com. Stay tuned.
Yes.
D.N.D. will be back in just a moment. Coming off the win over the Bears, the Packers are preparing for a tough road test in Denver against the Broncos.
Does a hell of a job. Guys in position. There's just not really a weak link out there. When you look at their front, their backers, their back end, they've got players across the board. I mean, the sack numbers are pretty crazy. Their run defense is pretty crazy.
We're giving you everything you need to know before Sunday's tilt all day on the game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1973.
Led Zeppelin released their fifth album, Houses of the Holy. It goes to #1 in the US and the UK and yields the top 20 hit Dire Maker.
But I still love you so, and I can't let you go. I love you. Ooh, baby, I love you.
The Doobie Brothers released their top 10 album, The Captain and Me, with the singles Long Train Running and China Grove. And in June, Joe Walsh and Barnstorm have a top 10 album buoyed by the single Rocky Mountain Way. Also in June of '73, George Harrison scores the #1 single, Give Me Love, from the #1 album, Living in the Material World. And Chicago's sixth album goes to #1 with two top 10 hits, Just You and Me and Feeling Stronger Every Day. In July, 600,000 Jam Watkins Glen for Summer Jam, the largest rock festival ever held in the U.S. It features the band, the Grateful Dead, and the Allman Brothers. And in August, those same Allman Brothers released their first album after the death of Duane Allman and had their only hit single with Ramblin' Man, which goes to #2.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1970.
Chicago breaks through with their second album, generating 3 top 10 singles, Color My World, 25 or 624, and Make Me Smile. And Simon & Garfunkel released the album Bridge Over Troubled Water. It would win the Grammy for Album of the Year. The single of the same name would also hit #1.
Like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me
In February of 1970, Paul McCartney files a petition with the court to dissolve the Beatles partnership. James Taylor leaves Apple Records and releases the album Sweet Baby James on Warner Brothers. He has a number 3 single with Fire and Rain and receives major publicity as a leader in the wave of new, more mellow singer-songwriters of the time.
Let it roll all night long.
The Doors get back to the blues with the album Morrison Hotel, which climbs to number 4 on the album charts. In March, Crosby, Stills, and Nash add Neil Young to their lineup and have a number 1 album with Deja Vu, which includes 3 top 40 singles. And New York hard rockers Mountain released their debut Climbing with the single Mississippi Queen.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1970. Coming up.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top police songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Roxanne. Number 2, Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic. Number 1, Every Breath You Take.
Every breath you take, and every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you.
Hear more from The Police and similar artists now. Search for The Police on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Maybe we should play this. Nice. I like this. Yeah, it's very good more often. D.N.D. Dave. So the challenge was put out there on this Wishful Giving Radio Event for Make-A-Wish in Wisconsin. In and out of the segment, and this was from Asian Chris Solani. I don't know which song this is, but he wrote back that he would like Pepper's Tiesto remix by Faruko, Tiesto or Concrete Angel by Gareth Emery. To me, those are just words.
Yeah.
I don't know what any of it means, but I like that.
Yeah, this is Concrete Angel by Gareth Emery.
Okay. But this notation, this isn't bad.
Okay. All right.
Chris has these things.
Go.
I use this as a bumper on Packers game day.
Oh, I like that.
Packers game day coming your way at 11 a.m. on Sunday. Sports. About 10 minutes or so. But first, here on this Wishful Giving Radio Event presented by Kessler's Diamonds, time now to hear another story from our friend Dave Michaels. He tells the story of Talia and I believe her mom, Heidi.
I'm wondering what you would do if your child or grandchild that you loved were facing a critical illness. Unfortunately, that's not a rhetorical question for many families here in southeastern Wisconsin. I do know that a wish, though, can be a game changer that brings kind of a sense of normalcy back into a family's life. Our annual Wishful Giving Radio Event with Make-A-Wish Wisconsin and Kessler's Diamonds is here, talking to families directly impacted by Make-A-Wish Wisconsin, and in some cases, wish kids themselves. One of them is Talia. Hi, Talia. Thanks for being here.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you from? What city?
Franklin.
Where do you go to school?
St. Joseph and Messine.
Who's with you right now?
My mom.
What's your mom's name?
Heidi.
Hi, Heidi. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Tell me a little bit about Talia.
Talia is our 9-year-old daughter, and she is a kidney cancer survivor.
When was she diagnosed?
She was diagnosed in March of 2019.
So you take her in, and at what point did you realize this might be a little more serious than we think?
So our pediatrician wanted her to have the ultrasound and before the ultrasound was going to take place. He just told us that when her ultrasound was finished, to not leave and just wait for them to be able to read the results. And our doctor said the ultrasound reveals that she has a tumor on her right kidney, and there is a room waiting for you at Children's Hospital.
Were you scared?
We were very scared. I can remember every possible moment of Talia's diagnosis and being in the hospital.
And while you're watching her through this process, I'm guessing there were times where she was looking at you, giving you those, Mom, I don't want to be here. Mom, I'm scared. Mom, take me home looks. And while you understand where she's coming from, you know that you can't do that because that's what's best for her. That must have ate you up inside as well.
Right. It hurts to know that you've had to hold down your child so that people can help her. And even today, even at 9 years old, she will ask when we go to her doctor appointments if she's going to have any pokes and if things are going to hurt, because it is very traumatic for a child to go through any sort of treatment plan, which you know is helping them. But in that moment, you have to do things to make it happen.
What was your wish, Talia?
To go to Disney World, Florida.
So now Talia's wish, granted through Make-A-Wish Wisconsin, is to bring her family to Florida. That must have just been an amazing experience for everyone, wasn't it?
We did not have to worry about anything other than each other and being able to spend time with each other, enjoy a family trip that most likely we would not have been able to do without the generosity of the donors who helped to sponsor a trip for a child through Make-A-Wish.
They gave your family smiles.
They did.
A smile might be the best gift you can give anyone this holiday season, but especially a child like Talia when you donate to Make-A-Wish Wisconsin. RadioWishes.com. RadioWishes.com. I encourage you to visit the site, donate to Make-A-Wish Wisconsin. You can also call 877-272-9474. That's 877-272-WISH.
Thanks, Dave. And thanks to Talia and Heidi for telling Talia's story. You can become a Wish Club member for $20 a month or by donating $240 or more. Or you can become a Kessler's Diamond Club member by donating $1,000 or more. All right, we're going to reset and talk to Brandon Cristal from Guerrilla Sports. He is someone who has covered the Broncos for a long time and has seen the resurgence of this franchise over the last, well, they won the Super Bowl 10 years ago. They've been wandering in the wilderness ever since. We will talk to him about what turned this team around. Was it more than just the head coach? We'll find out as we return this week on D&D.
You are listening to the Wishful Giving Radio Event, presented by Kessler's Diamonds. Donate now at RadioWishes.com or by calling 877-272-WISH. That's 877-272-WISH or RadioWishes.com. Want to watch D.N.D? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
There you go.
There we go.
Just search 97.3 The Game. What does the future hold for our beloved Giannis?
Giannis Antetokounmpo and his agent, Alex Saratas, have started open conversations that are active right now with the Milwaukee Bucks about the realities of whether his future is best staying in Milwaukee or the realities of moving on elsewhere.
Make sure to stay tuned as we're discussing the latest regarding the Bucks icon here on The Game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1970.
Don't keep me waiting here. Lead me to
The Beatles released the Phil Spector-produced album Let It Be. It generates 3 #1 hits, Get Back, Let It Be, and their final #1, The Long and Winding Road. The Kinks song Lola, about a romantic encounter with a transvestite, makes #2 UK and #9 US. In July, the Stooges released their second album on Elektra Records, Fun House. And British band Mungo Jerry are number 1 in the UK, number 3 in the US with the single In the Summertime.
Have a drink, have a drive, go out and see what you can find.
In August, Eric Clapton releases his first solo album and scores a top 20 hit with his cover of J.J. Cale's After Midnight. Neil Diamond scores his first number 1 with Cracklin' Rosie. September of 1970, Neil Young has a top 10 album with After the Gold Rush. War, an anti-war protest song by Edwin Starr, tops the charts.
What is it good for? You tell me. Say it.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1970. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1978.
In January of 1978, the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack is released featuring the music of the Bee Gees. It hits number 1 in the U.S. for more than 6 months. An amazing 18 weeks at number 1 in the UK, it becomes the best-selling soundtrack album of all time. In February of 78, Pasadena, California hard rock band Van Halen released their self-titled debut album. It hits number 19 on the charts. Their cover of The Kinks' You Really Got Me cracks the top 40 at number 36. In March, the Patti Smith Group released their third album, Easter. It goes to number 20. Their single, Because the Night, goes to number 13. It was co-written with Bruce Springsteen. In May of 78, Detroit rock singer Bob Seger releases his 10th album, Stranger in Town. It goes to number 4 in the U.S., yielding 3 top 20 singles, including Still the Same, which also goes to number 4.
Are you still the same?
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1978. Coming up. iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Elton John to talk about performing live.
Going on stage was when I could show off and be comfortable. And you know, I was always a bit timid off stage. And the stage gave me an outlet. And you'll find that with many performers, whether they be dancers, actors, singers, musicians. They have the outlet on stage to become the person they're not off stage. And I think that's what eventually led to my troubles, along with the drugs and the drink, is that the person who was fast becoming popular as Elton John and becoming, you know, the number 1 rock star in the world, had kind of escaped from the person off stage, and the balance was completely off kilter. And the more I became successful, the harder I worked, and the less time I concentrated on being normal, or trying to be kind of normal. But people who knew me privately were shocked, I think, at what I was doing off stage. Rather, you know, they knew what I was going to do on stage, but off stage they were shocked and disappointed.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Elton John and all your favorite artists.
Hey there, people. This is Mark Maron, and I host the podcast WTF with Mark Maron, which is available on iHeartRadio. Honestly, I think we could all listen to each other a little bit more, and I think it's a healthy thing. I listen to all sorts of people, comedians, actors, musicians, directors, writers, even a president. They come into my garage, and we have a conversation about all the big stuff in life. Go check it out, WTF with Mark Maron, right here on iHeartRadio.
Segment of the week here on D.N.D. Doug Russell, Nick Bruzewitz, Dave Gasper, Doug, Nick, Dave. Coming up on Sunday at 3:25 kickoff at Empower Field in Denver, Colorado. It's the Packers taking on the 11-2 Denver Broncos. Joining us on the program for an Eye on the Enemy segment. He is a host and reporter at Guerrilla Sports, also an affiliate correspondent for Fox Sports Radio. We've had him on the program before. Brandon Cristal joining us here. Brandon, I appreciate the time. How are you today?
I'm doing good. You know, my Behind Enemy Lines segment on my Football Friday show I do with Chris Harris Jr., we went behind enemy lines with a guy who's not that much of an enemy, but our pal Brandon McManus was nice enough to join us before hitting the practice field for the Friday workout. And so I don't know if my insight into the team will be the same as BMAX, but I may not be as politically correct. I'm going to be incorrect, but I'm not going to toe a company line necessarily if I don't need to.
I would never want anybody that comes on the show to toe the company line. So I appreciate that. This team's 11-2 that you cover, this Denver Broncos club. And there have been some that have questioned, well, their defense is elite. Their offense is, I don't know if I believe in it yet. You've seen this team all season long. How legit is that 11-2 in your mind?
I think the 11-2 is legit. And around these parts, we ask, do you believe in the offense or do you not believe yet? As we have so much fun with the Bo-related puns and Bo Nix, obviously.
Sure.
But as we know in the NFL, I guess obviously in any sport, but in the NFL specifically, you can only play your schedule. And, you know, they lose to the Chargers and Colts on fluky last-minute kind of plays. Chargers a little less so. And then they find ways to win every game. They beat the defending Super Bowl champs in Philly. They beat the Chiefs, which is something that they haven't done in Denver very much in the recent decade, whether it's Alex Smith or Patrick Mahomes for the last 8-9 years. And so I think that those are their two signature wins. You know, the Cowboys have certainly been up and down. They had no problem with Dak in that offense. You know, the defense looked like a high school defense when they saw him here in Denver earlier in the year. And so you can only play your schedule, but no matter what, they found ways to win. And where they're trending up, and if you look at their numbers, I think their EPA, and I don't know how to calculate that, in the last 3 weeks is third best in the league. They're running the ball with a little more consistency despite losing J.K. Dobbins to that foot injury. R.J. Harvey kind of coming into his own. And it's crazy because if I told you or anyone, especially when Josh Jacobs healthy, we know he's obviously nowhere near 100% right now, that the Broncos, with that cast of runners and a little bit of Bo Nix, not running as much as last year, they're averaging 4 more yards on the ground, you know, and ranked 5 spots higher than the Packers. I wouldn't believe it because I'm like, oh, Josh Jacobs is such a big part of what they do. I got him on some fantasy teams. And so they're figuring it out on offense still, but I think mostly it's Sean Payton getting out of his own way at times. And in these recent weeks, maybe because they haven't needed to as much, they've been taking the shots downfield that sometimes certainly connect. And Bo's got some good downfield numbers in his first 2 years. But he also has plenty of incompletions, some random long interceptions. And so they're just kind of taking what the defense gives them. The Raiders were never in the game. I don't care what the score says or the fluky last-second field goal. So, look, this is not the Drew Brees, Sean Payton high-flying offense. This is not the Peyton Manning high-flying offenses early in his time here in Denver. Even what we saw with John Elway and Shannon Sharp and Rod Smith when they were winning their Super Bowls, obviously Terrell Davis. But it's more than good enough to win in the playoffs, and the defense will travel if they even have to travel, wherever they need to. And if things work out the way they want, they'll only be getting on a plane to go to Kansas City on Christmas night, which may not mean anything, into the Super Bowl in Santa Clara, if they end up obviously securing that 1 seed.
I do want to touch on Sean Payton. How important is Vance Joseph to this whole operation? Because you've seen Payton succeed at levels very highly on offense, but outside of 2009, never got to the mountaintop, even an opportunity to get to a Super Bowl. How much does Vance Joseph kind of elevate all boats here?
I think pretty significantly. And Vance kind of did a little media tour. He was on Peter Schrager's podcast during their bye week. And then he did actually something, our CEO up in Boulder, and talked about, and in that one, he specifically talked about when they got the break speed off him, and that's an understatement. We all remember, and y'all may not have seen it, but you saw the score. They lose 70-20 in week 3 in Miami a couple of years ago. And it's like, is Vance even going to make it through the season, or is he going to make it to next week? And he said he'd been trying to run what Vic Fangio had run. And then the year that Nathaniel Hackett was here, Ejiro Evero, who had worked for Vic, ran basically Vic's defense with the same language. He tried to kind of keep that the same. And he went into Sean's office. Obviously, they're dissecting a 70-20 loss. And he's like, I have to just be able to do more of what I want to do. And it wasn't that Sean was demanding he run it like that. I think they just thought it would be easier and more efficient. Well, so since then, he stuck to his guns, and he came up under Wade Phillips as his biggest defensive influence among the guys he worked with. And they get after the quarterback, and Vance likes to switch up the looks, and he has the personnel to be able to do it because they're so good up front, and they're really front 5 with the pass rushers, when you talk about Benito and Cooper, and then inside with guys like Josh Allen and John Franklin Myers, and then the inside linebackers blitzing, the DBs blitzing, that they can switch it up, and they're really, really solid on the back end with clearly the best corner in football in PS2, the reigning defensive player of the year. So BJ's been able to mix it up, and they seem to always dial it up when they need to on a third and long, and haven't gotten burned yet too often when they need that home run to get off the field, which is obviously something that the Packers have once they added Micah Parsons, and maybe they haven't had, I don't know, I guess when Zendarius Smith first showed up, the Smith brothers, or really since Reggie White was there. But when you have that guy that can close for you, and they have a couple, it allows BJ to do a lot. Now, if he gets that coaching job, the defense, almost all those guys are back, so they're going to be in really good shape as long as whoever calls it next, and we think it might be a guy that everybody up there is familiar with, and Jim Leonard, who associate head coach and had chances to leave, and Sean got him to stick around. So can Jim Leonard match what Vance does next year? Well, we'll worry about that next year. But no, Vance is a huge part of what they do, and Sean knows it. Sean wasn't necessarily, I know it sounds silly, but talking about Vance by name when he would talk about the defense, he talked about the players. And since that Jets game when they sacked Justin Fields 9 times in London, he has been happily talking about Vance and his staff and how well they have orchestrated the defense week to week, regardless of the opponent. So, yeah, the defense is a key to what they do, is can the offense give them enough? And they have, obviously, through 13 games to get to 11 wins.
Yeah, Brandon, and you mentioned Jim Leonard there. Defensive pass game coordinator. Broncos are allowing the third lowest completion percentage by opposing quarterbacks in the league this year. They have the most sacks. Kind of give us an update on Jim Leonard and kind of how he's doing and how he's been thriving out there in Denver.
Well, look, Jim obviously came here and played for a little bit. He basically came in that run with Peyton Manning for a stretch. I want to say he was on that Super Bowl team that lost Super Bowl 48 because they had Trindon Holiday, who we know was electric. Anybody that ever saw his highlights, one of the fastest players to ever play in the NFL. But he didn't always catch the ball. And Jim, who I think at the time was Big Ten's all-time leading returner in terms of yards, he wouldn't even have to do that. It was just catch the ball, hand it to Peyton Manning. But played solid on the back end, and obviously, I'm in the camp that thought he should have gotten that job full-time at Wisconsin. But I know that BJ trusts him and has liked the addition of having him the last couple of years after the DB coach that was here before that went to join Vic after a year in Philly. And so he appreciates Jim, and I think that Sean does too, which is why Sean named him associate head coach. After losing 3 coaches last year, but Jim would have been a 4th coach that he might have lost. He gave associate head coach titles to a few guys, but Jim was one of them. And I think with Jim's pedigree, both on the field and off the field, that there is a trust, certainly from the players and from BJ, and definitely from Sean, that if Vance moves on, if he's able to get one of the jobs that are open, they'll be in fine shape. And because Jim, just like anything, you work with somebody, you kind of pick up their tendencies or what makes them tick. And Vance isn't one of those guys that is going to be like, oh, I'm not going to teach you. You just kind of have to watch. I think Vance is, and that's what Sean likes about his assistants, is he always talks about we're teachers more than anything else. And Vance is come from that same cloth. And I think Jim is too, but it's that Vance is walking Jim through, I think, their game plan week over week, so that if he does, hand the reins over when he takes another gig, they'll be in good shape. And I think they're happy to have Jim around. I know the players are, because he's a former player and he can relate.
Brandon Cristal joining us, our eye on the enemy, as the Packers get set to take on the Denver Broncos. This kind of a bigger picture question. Was a franchise, very proud franchise, a lot of history in Denver. A decade ago in 2015, Super Bowl 50 champions. Since then, up until a couple of years ago, kind of wandering in the wilderness a little bit. A couple of down years when Vance Joseph was the head coach, 5-11 and then 6-10. Vic Fangio comes in, never has a winning season. Nathaniel Hackett comes over from Green Bay as was their OC, then became the head coach of the Broncos. We all know how that went. How much of a culture change, though, was Sean Payton when he came in and took over in 2023? Because they've been on an ascension ever since.
An enormous one. And you can kind of look at things they've done in the building. He also was paired with the perfect owners for him. What made him so successful in New Orleans is that Tom Benson, and I know he obviously passed away during Sean's tenure there, but then when his wife obviously took the reins, and her, I think son helps him run it. They stayed out of Sean's way. And Sean, because he came up through Parcells a certain way that he wanted to do things, certainly after spending those few years with Parcells, and wanted to upgrade the travel and wanted to upgrade the dining, and this is all in New Orleans, and the facility. And he was the first guy to use cryo recovery in the facility across the league, and the flow tank. He was the first to use next gen stats. All these things cost money though. And with the Walton Penner family ownership group, I know people can be critical of how Walmart is run. They do not run the Broncos the way they might run a Walmart. They've added bodies in every part of the organization, whether it be on the business side, obviously on the football side, PR, facilities, all of it. They have had no problem spending money, and they upgraded. They retrofitted a cargo plane so that every seat was first class. Instead of staying at Marriott's, they stay at JW Marriott's or Ritz or Four Seasons. And those are little things, but they certainly resonate with the team. That word spreads around the league. They're building a $300 million state-of-the-art practice facility that's about to open. They're going to build a new stadium by 2031 that is going to be state-of-the-art. And so you've got all of that stuff, but then Sean just knows how to win games. And he also wanted to move on from some players. We started talking about Brandon McManus. Brandon was special teams captain, NFLPA rep, one of the handful of guys still here from the Super Bowl 50 team. And Sean spent about a month and a half around him and cut him at the end of OTAs, which is, kind of crappy. Brandon obviously caught on with Jacksonville. Now he's in Green Bay. Justin Simmons, who was a great player and phenomenal in the community. After a year, they moved on from him despite being a 4-time Pro Bowler. The only guys that kind of stuck around that were through the thin times were guys that came along and were around those winning players, but then it transitioned. It's Cortland Sutton and Garrett Bowles, who have both been stellar. But you change the culture by changing personnel both behind the scenes and in the, on the roster, on the field. And then you're able to hit a home run with, what they think is a franchise quarterback and a guy that Sean obviously put all of his support behind and kind of staked his career on in Bo Nix. But you're able to move on from Russell Wilson and eat $80 million in dead cap. And so the thing with Sean is, and you've seen it the last few weeks with how they played against the Raiders, they could have taken a 62-yard field goal at the end of the half, but he didn't want anything fluky to happen. He didn't want a 110-yard return or somehow it gets tipped or blocked and returned and the Raiders pick up some momentum, because they know they're going to win that game, even if it's not going to be, 35-10. And so I think in close games and in situational, parts of the game, Sean is in a pretty elite category with some of the best of all time. And that's really what's allowed them this year and even last year. But last year they were 1-6 in one-score games. This year they're, just off the top of my head, counting last week's, I think they're 9-2 in one-score games or whatever it may be. Those two losses, obviously, on the final play of each game with game-winning field goals for Indy and San Diego, the LA Chargers. So, yeah, Sean's been, I think, remarkable in that sense. And you talked about those other three guys. Like Vance, I think, is going to be a really good head coach. And he did a lot in Arizona that people may not know in terms of how he helped Cliff Kingsbury along. But first-time head coach. Vic had been in football forever. Still, first-time head coach. Obviously, Nathaniel Hackett grew up around it. Dad's the head coach. First-time head coach. Sean's anything but that. And so, that can't be overstated either.
Real quick, before we got to let you go, we got about a minute here. RJ Harvey is taking the reins in the backfield. J.K. Dobbins done for the time being. Excitement in that backfield has to be pretty high right now.
Yeah, and it's only growing week over week because his acceleration or his maturity had to be accelerated with the Dobbins injury. And so while they like Julio McLaughlin and Bidet, the other two backs, they drafted Harvey in the second round for a reason. Look, this dude threw 43 touchdowns his senior year of high school. Now, he's 5'9" on his best day. Nonetheless, Virginia recruited him to play quarterback. He transfers back home, goes and plays running back at UCF, and we know he was a Big 12 leading rusher 2 years ago. He's fast with breakaway speed, but he's sticking to the offense in recent weeks, especially last week, staying within the play call, not trying to bounce it outside like young backs do. He's getting better in pass pro, and he's good catching the ball out of the backfield. He just wasn't asked to do it a lot. So as he goes, certainly the offense goes because it makes things easier for Bo, and they like where he's at. Doesn't mean he'll be the featured runner next year. If they sign a Derrick Henry or something like that. But he has certainly come along. That's been accelerated, and he's a dangerous weapon that can hit a home run if given the chance.
Brandon, we appreciate the time and the insight so much. Enjoy the game coming up on Sunday. And who knows, maybe we'll do this again when these two teams meet in Santa Clara.
That sounds great. We'll do it in person. Yeah. Hopefully that's how it comes to pass. Rematch of Super Bowl 32. We know Packers fans want that to go a different way.
Yeah.
But the Broncos will be fine if it's the exact same outcome in terms of winners and losers. But it should be fun either way.
Looking forward to it. There he goes, Brandon Cristal joining us from Guerrilla Sports. You can find him on Twitter or X, if you prefer, at BK Denver Sports. That is his X handle, and he's been covering the Broncos for a long time. We appreciate his time and his insights here as we wrap up the week on D.N.D. Packers game day coming up 11 a.m. live from Potawatomi Sportsbook on Sunday, 3:25 kickoff for Sunday's game as well.
It's going to be fun. I can't wait for it.
I can't wait for it either, because I think it's going to be another good litmus test. This is the second straight week where the Packers are taking on the top-seeded team when the game begins, the top-seeded team in their respective conference. The schedule is only going to get harder. So, and it started last week. They had 3 straight games in the division in a row. Right now, they're 4-0 in the division. They still have the rematch against the Bears. They've got the Vikings coming up right after New Year's. So, yeah, it's the last quarter pole of the season. And it's not an easy road, and it shouldn't be an easy road. This is where football is fun. You've got 2 great teams that are going up against each other on Sunday. Then you've got the Bears coming up, that rematch. The Ravens, if they're still playing for something. And then you end up the season against a Vikings team that just wants to knock you out of the playoffs or knock you from your perch.
Yeah, we'll see if 9 is able to get it done. But
that's right.
Yeah.
Nick, I hope you had a good birthday week.
I did.
Do you celebrate a whole birthday week?
I don't. I do not.
Okay.
But we talk about 2 great teams squaring off right now, Wisconsin and Stanford women's volleyball on ESPN. So tune in for that on television.
Set 2. Wisconsin's up. They won the first set.
Love that. Love that. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on Sunday starting at 11 on Packers Game Day. Drew and Hunter coming up next. Stay with us.
You are listening to the Wishful Giving Radio Event, presented by Kessler's Diamonds.